Get 'em, Jimmy. Where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty. I'm not cracking. We stacking. Chips, all of this. What I want. Plus money winners. That's what I'm on. You could say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pump sports radio. Time to get educated. Who get produced? Fade the juice. Letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we lead. Oh yeah. Pubbing. We be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, May 9th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. You know, I've never had a day like yesterday in my entire life. For those of you who've read The Game by Ken Dryden, so many things rocked me when I first read that. I was 10. That stayed with me my whole life. And one of the things that Dryden said that rocked me then when I was 10 was that when a puck was flicked at him from the other end and it would bounce a couple times and go in, he was, happy isn't the right term, but he was glad that it had gone in because he said that now he'll save the next 99. And yesterday, I lost 5 games with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th and 1 game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. That's never happened to me in my life. I'm going to go over it once now. Then I'm never going to speak of it again. It's a fluke. That stuff is a fluke. And I'm happy that I got it out of the way. It's a very costly fluke. It cost me a lot of money. But let's get it out of the way. The Detroit, Cleveland, full game under 7.5, and the Tigers money line, 2 outs with the bottom of the 9th. Would have cashed both of those. They both lose. Angels first 5 money line, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Lose that. Milwaukee, Kansas City under 9. I mean, that I couldn't even believe my eyes. Like I'd never. 2 errors. I'm not sure if they were both scored errors. And even it was 3-2 at that point. I lost the under 9. I mean, Orioles -1 and Baltimore, Washington under 8.5. Those are 5 and 6. It was 3-1 Baltimore. With 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. So I it goes to extras and I pushed the Baltimore -1. So it happened. Never happened to me my entire life. I've never lost that many games to 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. Happened. It's not going to happen again. Maybe it happens 10 years down the line. There's nothing I can really do about it. And I'm not going to talk about it again. I'll say one last thing. The swing was massive, though, for me, financially. But let's move on. I have to talk about that. I can't even talk about the Canucks comeback. The Canucks comeback wasn't a $2,500 swing. All right. Brian Watson in the house. Gerald Jones has winning night. Oakland, Texas game 2 breakdown on over was rocking chair winner. Best bet today for Gerald Jones is the Cardinals run line first 5 plus 110. Let's get all this stuff copied and pasted, and we will roll. Copied and pasted, Gerald. Thank you for that. Stacks play today. Astros over 8.5. Back-to-back winners for Justin McKelvey and Stacks. He's on the over 8.5. White threes over 3.5. And look at alt threes as well for Rick J. Rick J. That's strange. Or maybe is that not your action? You're just sorry. You're saying that what book is that? That doesn't make any sense. Rick J, that's weird, strange. I mean, it's a mistake, obviously, but I'd be curious to see what book would screw up like that. Jay Smooth in the house. Smooth Balls play day is the Reds money line for Jay Smooth. There you go. I've had a bunch of cappers ask me about your record, Jay Smooth, a bunch. So if you don't have to, if you don't want, you don't have to track it. You know, this is your complete autonomy. But I've, several cappers ask me about it. It's up to you if you want to start tracking it, but it might be a good idea. I mean, we talk about Justin McKelvey Stacks Play Day all the time. People talk about it all the time because he's tracking it. I wish Justin was tracking his average line, because then you'd see how impressive his work has been. Tori Coker in the house. Clint started Die Hard MMA podcast. Says, what a comeback. Canucks blew up my under 6.5, but holy shit, that was amazing. It was. This is a different group trying to start a different history. It's pretty exciting to watch. I can't wait for tomorrow night. Tori Coker says, half the bounce back day. Yes, we do. Dan Kelly, value on Chris Kirk and Tom Hoagie at top 30 at PGA Wells Fargo. That goes off at noon today. Thank you for sharing that with us, Dan. Noon Eastern, so that's an hour or 51 minutes. 3-2 night says, better than Sheldon Keefe getting fired. Slatsy, you know what's funny, Slatsy? This was the first year where I didn't want that, where I thought he did fine. I thought he did a pretty good job with that group. But, the Leafs have a rich history of horrific decisions. Not that this is a horrific decision. I get it. Turn the page. But get Shanahan out of there. Get Brendan Shanahan out. Whom I love as a hockey player, but get him out of there. Look, I love Tom Wilson as a hockey player. Or Doug Wilson, excuse me. I love Doug Wilson as a hockey player. But look what he did. Look how he left the San Jose Sharks. He left them a garbage fire. Nobody's singing around that garbage fire. Just poisoning the air. Nuke Worker in the house, getting Florida -1.5 at +155 was a steal. Look, getting Florida in Game 3 at -115 was a steal. Now, I know you could say, look, they just smashed Boston 6-1. Boston's going to show character, but I don't think Boston's that good of a hockey team. If the Panthers start skating downhill, there's going to be trouble. Swiggy says was on Detroit Tigers and Oilers double meltdown bounce back day. Dan Kelly says, is there such a thing as Eastern time zone privilege? Yes, there is. It's for cappers. Let's an example. On Saturday of the Kentucky Derby, I woke up at 2:45 in the morning. Anybody out west, it was 11:45 at night. No one's waking up to start their day capping. You can get ahead. The 3 hours is a huge advantage for Eastern cappers. You wake up at 4 a.m. to hammer away. The LA cappers are going to sleep. Just going to sleep. Nuke Worker says, bye-bye. Keith Slats says Jeremy Swayman getting pulled was not on the menu. He still has great numbers in the playoffs, and we're going to go over all of that. We have a great show for you guys. We have Mr. Gogster here for NHL. We're also going to cap Friday's NHL. I'm sure there's going to be cappers, in the chat that don't like that, and my apologies. We're going to cap 4 games in NHL, and then we're going to get an MLB. We'll have lots of time. First game, Arizona Cincinnati, is at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, so there's no concern. Perky in the house, Panger Life, TJ says, very sorry for all who tailed yesterday. Philly -1 was the wrong side the whole way. Washington under was a very unlucky loss. It was just that kind of a day. TJ, we need you with a large sample size to show what you can do. No one has any concerns at this point. And Swiggy says, Justin McKelvey and Jay Smooth appreciate the plays of the day. Justin 2-0 this week. Joey Harb, J-Dub, Nate Dog 420, Slatsy, Rangers 8-0 last 8 games, 4-1 last 5 versus Canes in Carolina. Igor, such a big edge over naming the Canes, have a net must-win game for the Canes. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Swiggy has the weekly UFC contest, $100 free to enter. It's up there in our chat. Join in, $100 free to enter. Joey Harb looking at Yankees over 4.5. The Swayman first period under cash. Yeah, we cashed that first period under 1.5. I thought we were going to cash all of it. We cashed Panthers -1 very easily. 2-2 day in NHL though, and a lot. We lost some vig. We lost some juice on it. So it is what it is. We're not going to stop firing. Rocco Rogers says they keep putting Ekholm at +800 or better. Look out for him. An Oilers player that plays with the top line a lot should not be priced there. Dust 10 says terrible day for him yesterday, 1-3, but great hockey night, 6-1. Great job, Dustin. Great job. Steve G, ready to rock and roll. Great to see all of you guys. Great to see all of you guys. So Von Polo, Subhuman Gaucho, D Jenkins, Mike Wilkerson looking at White over points, first quarter points, and Brown over first quarter points from Mike Wilkerson. Kent Davies, Old E. We got Clint, loving playoff hockey, being wild, he says. Subhuman Gaucho gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership. Thank you, Subhuman Gaucho. Thank you for all that you do and all of your support. It means the world to us. And Nate Dogg, 420, gifting it. Just two great friends. It's wonderful to see. Ronnie Crawford, Al Cervic, the Dapper Capper, Brent Cook, Ron Crawford, MLB spreadsheet play today. What a call on the spreadsheet play today yesterday. Throwing out a plus 150 for spreadsheet play today is not easy. And he delivers with the Toronto Blue Jays. Attaboy, Ronnie Crawford. Let's get that copied and pasted here. I'm not going to have everything set up under the game, so if I miss anything, we'll go back in our reviews. Spreadsheet play today in NHL is Dallas. I can't wait to talk about these two spots, or today's spots and tomorrow's spots in NHL. I'm very interested in hammering. So let's go. JP Taylor, Rodney Barton, my dude, says the Orioles under is the one that hurt the most. No, not for me. It was that Royals under. That one hurt the most. That one hurt the most. When it gets to extra innings, you're in peril. But too easy. It should have been 3-2. Then going into the bottom of the ninth, there was that bloop single. It was clearly the left fielder's ball. I don't know. And then there was a line drive to center field. That was just an easy catch, bounced off the center fielder's glove. And then Duffy comes on, not our old Duffy, but the new Duffy, and he comes on and walks the first two batters. That one hurt the most. Okay. Great to see all you guys. Thank you for being here. Steve G says, "Can't all be glitter and gold." Jimmy, we get back at today. Yes, we will. Al Cervic, Mr. Vape, Kelly McInnes, Gifted Cartel. Thank you. Nordy in the house. Great to see you. Frank Ritaco. Nice wins on Panthers -1 and Twins. Twins was helpful last night. I mean, it was a horrific. So let's attack. Here. Sorry, I didn't give you guys all a shout out, but JP Taylor, Skills, Mark Skillman in the house, Equinimus, Kongs, Clips, Billy Friedrich, NJ Stryker, Brian Smith, all of you guys, Eric Rosas, the Sweaty Butcher. Thank you guys for joining us. Subhuman Gaucho, NHL play today up 19.02 units is first period, both teams to score in Canes Rangers. Wow, I'm thinking about going in a different direction in that one. And I know it's dangerous with the way the power plays have been rolling. We'll talk all of this out. Also, we have an issue here. JPZ thinking that he's being blocked, which would never happen. His comments aren't showing up. He's not on our list. I've checked it because this is the first I've heard about it. But if we'll give you a wrench, JPZ. This is the same thing we went through with Mikey Money. We need you in the chat. We love you so much. So I don't know how this has happened, and we will fix it. You're the heart and soul of our show. You're the first voice that anybody hears when they listen to any shows at Pub Sports Radio. So we will fix this as soon as possible. And I hate hearing about it, but I'm sure it's happening right now because his comments aren't showing up. Dabby Cab says, I shouldn't complain about positive day, but damn, I should have hit the Rangers team total over in game 2 yesterday. You did go 1-1. No, I know you would never do it. I know you would never do it, Nate. No one would ever do it, but we've got to get this figured out. 1-1 on the waffle plays of the day tomorrow. Okay. Wow, Leonard Porsche. I didn't go 7-9. Huh. I went 6-10. So one of those that you cashed, I didn't. We'll go over it here. Okay. Look, I can't pretend that I'm not livid. I can't pretend that I didn't get rocked financially last night with those swings. I can't. So I'm not going to sit here and be all, fucking lollipops and ice cream and but I don't know what to fucking say, dude. Look, it fucking hurt last night. It hurt. I've never had that horrific 2-out shit go against me 6 fucking times. And so I'm angry. So I'm not just going to pretend, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I said I wouldn't. I already did bring it in, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, look, I want to smash something. I want to flip shit. I want to, ugh. All right. Let's get into NHL and bring on our guest in NHL. Here's a guy that always brings joy to my life, and I'm looking forward to cap these 2 games in NHL. I'm sure someone's going to come in the chat and be like, enough NHL or enough hockey, and I'm going to try not to lash out and fucking stab. So let's welcome our next guest, our first guest. We have a great show. We have Brizzy back in business. Brizzy has been on a tear of tears on our show in NBA. So Brizzy going to be rocking with us in NBA. Please welcome from Belleville, Ontario. I still don't know how how you got the nickname for that. I mean, I can't think of one similarity that Belleville and Las Vegas has. I mean, what? STDs? Maybe STDs. Okay. Or in the STIs now, right? It's a new world. They're not diseases. They're just infections. Please welcome Mr. Gogster to the show. Gogster, how are you?
What's going on, guys? How are you doing today? What's going on?
Gogster, let's just get right into it.
All right, buddy.
Let's just get right into it. We have 2 games tonight and some very interesting opportunities. I've been staring at Carolina on the -1 line. Yeah. And I can't pull the trigger on it. I can't do it. Rangers undefeated in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But maybe I can when we're done talking about it. Also, all of the cash these games have been going over. Rangers power play at 40%.
Yeah.
A
lot of power plays.
And they're both spectacular power plays. And we're going to get over the 5-on-5. We'll get into all of this. But I would like to bet the first period under. I don't want to go up against Subhuman Gaucho. I would like to bet the full game under. And I do not think Peter Kochetkov will be in between the pipes. In fact, I think the opposite. I think that Freddie Anderson gained some confidence with
especially at home. Yeah, especially at home between the pipes. I agree with that, Jim.
So let's break this down here. First off, we will start with the market. Sorry, I am on tomorrow's Florida-Boston market. By the way, it swung back, which is interesting. Oh, no, it hasn't. Sorry. Pinnacle just opened this up at 7:22 a.m. It wasn't available last night. They opened it up at -119. It's now -123. When 365 opened it up at -115, I was like, is there something wrong here? Like, what? Like, I looked at all the other books. Why would Bet365 open it so much lower than all the other books? It's not like them.
No.
I got -115. It was not immediately, but when I woke up, it was -125. But let's go to today's action here. We have the Carolina Hurricanes at -166. It is. Dennis said something interesting in a hockey chat that I'm in. Mm-hmm. He loves the Carolina Hurricanes, but he said the market seems to love them more than he does.
Yes, I agree with that.
Crazy lines in New York. And I know a lot of you guys took advantage of it back in the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. This line opening up for the Hurricanes -173. It's now -166. What's the fair line? -140?
50, maybe, yeah. 145. I think the 170 opener was a little, compared to this Dallas-Colorado game, like that one, I think that game should be a little anyway, let's stick to this game. -170 I thought was a little too high. I agree with what Dennis was saying there, Jim. I do.
There's been no move in the total. And here, just so you guys know, 71% of the tickets and 65% cash on the over. This is one of those things when you're watching the series and you're watching the power plays work, who in their right mind would want the under? And whenever I think that, I find that side appealing. 72% of tickets, 65% of the cash on the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's get into the X's and O's here. We'll start with Freddie Anderson. In the playoffs, 4-3, 2.58 goals against average, 899 save percentage. Now, he was great in those 15 games. We saw him in the regular season, 13-2, 1.84 goals against average, 932 save percentage, 3 shutouts in those 15 games. Shutout every 5 games. Gogster's talked about how great he's been at home. He's done that. Gogster's talked about that on the show, and I'm sure that will come up in his breakdown. Shesterkin, 2.01 goals against average, 929 save percentage. He looks spectacular. The Hurricane special teams were so good in the regular season. They have not been in the playoffs. 20% power play, 65% penalty killing. 20% is a fine power play, but 65 is not high enough penalty killing. Then the Rangers, 40% power play and 92.6% penalty killing. That's what we see. We see the teams that survive in advance here in the playoffs are the teams that have the special teams rolling. So the Hurricanes come in off a 4-3 double overtime loss to the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. The Hurricanes also remember 2022 vividly. They played the Rangers in the second round in 2022. They won the first 2 games at home, including game 1 in overtime. Then they lost 4 of the next 5, and they lost the series. They believe they can turn the tables on the Rangers. They do. The Hurricanes were the better team 5-on-5 in game 2. I mean, it was clear. We all saw it. But that's not enough to win a game. That doesn't mean that much, but they were the best team 5-on-5. They outshot 5-on-5. They outshot the Rangers 44-28. They also had 92 shot attempts 5-on-5. Rangers had 75 shot attempts. Aho, Svechnikov, and Gensel are a very, very good line. They're rolling. Gensel had 2 goals. And he has hurt the Rangers in the past. When he was a Pittsburgh Penguin, he was a monster. Aho looked very, very good. So did Barkov. Shout out to both you guys. Freddie Anderson played well enough. I think he should remain the starter. There's got to be no way that Kochetkov is the starter here, right? I mean, I'm going to trust Brindamore. But so Carolina's power play was the second best in the regular season at 26.9%. And when they got Gensel, they were the best. They've gone 0 for 5 in each of the first 2 games, while New York's power play's gone 4 for 9. I don't know what to do with that. Because, look, you could say that what does it matter if Carolina is going to win 5-on-5 if you're going to get destroyed on special teams? But it should give anybody who's backing the Hurricanes or hopeful the Hurricanes hope. So look at the goals. Kreider's in game 2, Kreider's game-tying goal, 6:07 of the third power play goal. Trocheck's winner, 7:24 in overtime. Second overtime, power play goal. In game 1, Rangers took that 2-1 lead on Zibanejad's power play goal at 10:05. They took the 3-1 lead on Trocheck's power play goal. Mm-hmm. And then you have this Rangers team with all this confidence, all this character. This season, they set a team record for most comeback wins in the regular season with 28. Listen to this. They went 20-15-1 when the opponent scores first. A winning record when the opponent scores first. They won 10 games when trailing after 2 periods, and they did it again in game 2 of the series. Shesterkin has been spectacular, and I want to hear your breakdown before I make decisions. I also want to read everything in the chat. Kent Davies, Freddie Anderson, 94%. I'm going to be reading all you guys in the chat, and I'll be listening to Gogster. Take it away, Gogster.
All righty, brother. Well, let's get into the goalies, guys. Shesterkin, he hasn't lost since April the 9th. So it's May 9th right now, guys. It's been a month since this guy's lost. He's been solid on the road, guys, in the regular season. And then this year in the playoffs, 2 games, 2-0, hasn't thought twice about it. He's pretty much, he's like a captain back there. You got to have a really comfortable, confident goalie at this point. You've seen Swayman, other than that second period we got lit up, but confident goalie can really take your place in this Rangers team. They're kind of built for the playoffs too here, Jim. Now, on the other side, I do think Anderson does need to be better. I do think so. Just expected goals. I got a lot of expected goal stats for you guys. 2.18 in the first game, Jim. They lost that one 4-3. And then this following game, the Rangers had 5.41. He did allow 4. but I still think he needs to be a little bit better, especially on those the power play there. I think they're going to make adjustments though. Carolina here, their penalty kill is not as bad, I think, is what we're seeing. Jarvis is on that penalty kill. They still got that. I don't expect this to maintain all these goals, especially on the power play. There was 14 power penalties, Jim, in that second game there I have here. Block shots 40-27. Faceoffs were in favor of Carolina too. Hit slight advantage for the Rangers. But Carolina last game, Stahl had the highest expected goals for Carolina. That's not a good sign. Mark Stahl. And then Getzel at 0.85 was the next player who's just been playing lights out. The Rangers, they had Trocheck, Lafreniere last game. Lafreniere, he's just been playing unbelievable. But if you look at game one, guys, they only Kako and Rampe. Those are their expected goals for game one, and they ended up scoring 4. So coming back home, though, they're going to make adjustments here, I think, guys, with Anderson and net. Now, this is, if he looks pretty bad here and they go down, Jim, I think they are going to go with Kochetkov in the 4th game, but I don't see them losing this one, guys. Adjustments are going to be made, in my opinion, here for the Rangers. And the Rangers, 2 5-on-5, that's kind of where Carolina's going to get him, I think, guys. Eventually, Shesterkin's been playing great. Don't get me wrong. He did play Washington on the road those 2 games. That's not a lot of offenses coming out of there, and Ovi was dead in that series. So I think they're going to have their hands full tonight, the Rangers. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. I think it's going to be a lower-scoring game, Jim. I do like your unders. I have a lot of picks on this game, guys. Get your pencil out here. Teravainen, over 2.5 shots on goal. He's on the power play, too. So you want a lot of shots on goal, guys. If you're taking the over, you want him on the power play, right? So we got Teravainen over 2.5 shots on goal, Jim. Minus 150. Little juice there, but he's been getting there lately. Jarvis is another player here, both power play and penalty kill, over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 127. Really like that one there, guys. And then Carolina full game money line in the under 7.5, Jim, just to kill the juice. We got that at minus 110. We're also taking the Rangers team total under 2.5 at minus 117. Expecting Anderson to play much better at home. That's just been the history of Anderson. Even on the Leafs, he never was a good road goalie for us. And then Trocheck, 1 player prop, shots on goal over for the Rangers, guys, is going to be Trocheck over 2.5. Again, on the power play and on the penalty kill, Trocheck over 2.5 is only minus 105. So 5 picks for you guys in this game. This is the game I really like at all of them, even including the ones tomorrow, Jim. I do think Carolina is going to put a lot of pucks on net this game. And then the Rangers are not going to be, they're just not going to have those power plays like they did. They had 8 the last game. I think it's going to be reduced here. It's going to be a lot of 5-on-5, and that's where Carolina is going to beat them.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown. Teravainen over 2.5 shots. Jarvis over 2.5 shots. Now that one, Jarvis is hurt. We don't know. We don't know how bad it is, but he's taking some heavy hits. And we saw him take the ibuprofen on the bench. One just
hold on, guys. Sorry, 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Landline. Oh no. Oh God. Gogster's landline. Jesus. What a guy. Carolina money line in the under 7.5. Trocheck over 2.5 shots on goal. Rangers team total under 2. And
anyone have the over on the landline today? Over 0.5. It hit.
Yeah, we thought that you had disconnected that after all the ribbing that you took last time your landline.
Saving money, man. I'm saving money. Anyway,
no, I'm sure. Okay. Let's.
Sorry.
No worries. I understand. Everybody saying, how could the Rangers be lying like this? I understand it. I completely understand it. And I understand, when you're up all this money off the Rangers that you want to go right back to the well.
It's not going to be that easy.
I want to back the Hurricanes here, and I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can take them on the -1 line. I want to have the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5.5 as well. Again, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. But the way I see it is if the Hurricanes play their best possible game and they stay out of the penalty box, which of course is easier said than done. Those sticks, when the sticks get up, I mean, it's
Svechnikov needs just shaping up there. The guy's been taking so many penalties there right off the face-off. Stupid stick penalties twice there. in that game. So Brindamore, they're gonna make some adjustments, I think, going forward. Piss me off though.
There's some good stuff here, and it's nice to not be livid for a second.
I knew we were gonna get something.
If the Hurricanes stay out of the penalty box, we know that Shesterkin's going to play great. If the Hurricanes can dominate on 5-on-5, I've got to make some decisions here. I think I move on all three of them. I mean, I think
Shesty gets. I don't know about 4, but I think Rangers get at least 3 tonight on Shesty. I do.
You mean the Canes get 3 on Shesty?
Yeah, sorry, the Canes. Yeah, sorry. Landline's got me all fucked up.
Rick J, we did the Derek White stats yesterday. When he takes 12 3-point shots, they've won 22 straight games. Wow. I mean,
give him the ball.
Okay, I'm going to do it. Now, TJ saying Shesty has allowed more than 3 goals in 28 straight playoff games.
I know.
Look, I'm going to take the Canes on the -1 line. I'm going to take the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 5.5.
Yeah, if it loses, right, Jim? But I think that are the Rangers really going to go up 3 on this? The only way they do is if Anderson looks really bad. I think. I think this is Anderson. If he has a bad game, Carolina's going to have to chase this game the whole time.
Okay, I'm going to move on. We have 5 spots for Gogster. We're going to move into game 2, and then we're going to hear Gogster's plans for golf because I know it starts in 26 minutes. But let's hammer game 2
delay.
here.
A little rain delay going on.
9:30 p.m. Eastern. West second round. Colorado up 1-0. The Avalanche look very, very good.
Too good.
This was a team that, was under won 19 games out of 41 in regulation on the road, and they look like juggernauts right now. Georgiev still has an .895 save percentage in the playoffs, as good as he's looked. Ottinger looked susceptible. Kuchi, destroyer, first period, both teams to score. The Avalanche power play in the playoffs is at 44.4%. Their penalty killing is 76.5%. But there's some real issues with this Dallas hockey team right now. And they have depth, but they have issues. The Stars power play 27.8%. Their penalty killing 64.3%. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with this total. This total is sitting at 6.5, -107. Opened up at -110, now at -107. There's really been no movement. They just tightened up the VIG. And then from a money line standpoint, we have Dallas at -121. They opened up -125. That's a good line on Dallas. I don't know if I can do it, but that's a good line on Dallas. After a 4-3 overtime loss in game 1, DeBoer called out Pavelski and Rupee Hintz, and he should.
100% he should.
Colorado was the highest scoring team in the regular season, 3.68 goals per game. In the playoffs, 5.33 goals per game. I mean,
they're not shooting the puck. They're not.
Dallas was third in the regular season, 3.59 goals per game. In the playoffs, they're averaging 2.38 goals per game. So, little Joe Pavelski, since he came into the NHL in 06-07.
How many concussions?
He has 73 goals in 190 games.
Yeah.
No player has more. No one. Last year, he had 9 in 14 games. This year, he had 27 goals, and he played in every single game, 82, 67 points. He has no goals, 1 assist, and he only has 6 shots in 8 playoff games. Rupee Hintz, who went for 24 points in 19 playoff games last season. He led Dallas in goals and points. He didn't have a very good year. Rupee Hintz has 1 empty net goal and 10 shots in 8 playoff games.
It's embarrassing.
I fear fading Colorado. I fear it so much. I fear it.
I hear you.
But this is a good line. This is a really good line, especially on -1 line. You're getting plus money. but I don't know if I can do it. If the Stars win, you have to think the game goes under.
Yeah.
Do you want to bet an under 6.5 against a team that's averaging over 5 goals per game? Gogster, take it away. Game 2 tonight, Colorado, Dallas.
This is a tough one, Jim. Short and sweet. I think Dallas are in trouble. I think it's the rest. I think it's kind of like Boston guys going 7 games. You know, they had 1 day off, Dallas, after going 7 against Vegas. Colorado guys, 6 days off after 5 games against Winnipeg. So the rest is going to start to, I think, hurt kind of an older team. Pavelski, Sagan, Ben, Duchesne, all these guys, they get, in their 30s. So I think as this hockey goes on, they're going to be a little bit slower, and slower against Colorado is not going to be a good recipe for this team. And Ottinger too, guys, kind of like Swayman. There's been a lot of weight, I think, on Ottinger, and he looked good in the last 2 games against Vegas, who just didn't have it this year. But this Colorado team, Nichushkin and Rantanen and Makar and McKinnon, those 4 players are 4 best players, I think, in hockey right now. Those play together. There's no one better, I think, right now, guys. How fast, and they get so many pucks on net too. Like Makar is just a master at just getting shots actually on goal. Like you look at Quinn Hughes, guys, he gets so many blocks. He's been kind of learning how to get shots through. Where Makar, he's just so damn good at it. In this game, guys, it's a tough battle. Faceoffs, they won 60% of the faceoffs, though. Dallas did. That's a good sign. Yep. But they're gonna have to Colorado the 46 to 20 hits. They're the quicker, the more rested team. And I think as the series goes on, I do think Dallas are in trouble. Unfortunately, Dallas Stars. I got the Dallas hat on too. But in this game, guys, we'll give out the picks here. Where am I? Robertson. I think he's gonna have a better game here. He's on the power play too. Just over 2.5 shots on goal for Jason Robertson, guys. Sniper -102. That's gonna be a pick, Jimmy. And then also Heiskanen. Should have took him in that pool. Took Harley. Whoops. Heiskanen over 2.5 shots on goal. Also on the power play. Really good at getting shots through as well. Similar to Makar, just a more veteran defenseman. Been there before. +105, Jim, on Heiskanen over 2.5 shots on goal. So those are the players I'm gonna take. I saw someone in the chat bringing up Lehkonen. I do like Lehkonen. Lean to his overshot prop 2.5. Just he's not on the power play. That power play with, like I said, those 4 players. You take any of them. I wanted to take their shot totals over. Just a lot of juice. Decided to stay off it. But sidewise in total, probably going to be goals. And I don't know how they're going to slow them down. That's the problem. Like you look at Winnipeg. I thought Winnipeg had a good shot. And Hellebuck, if you listen to what he said, Jim, he said, I thought I was playing my best hockey, and he still got lit the hell up, right? So even Ottinger, who's a top goalie too, 2 of the top American goalies, really, him and Demko, throw him in there. It's just a tough spot. Dallas are gonna they're gonna fight here. They have to. They go down 2-0. They're dead to rights, I think. Even though actually Dallas are a really strong road team this year. They've been, for whatever reason, they play better away from home. They've really done it all year. So they might be live a little bit on the road. This game at home, pressure seems to be building, I think, too much for them. I would be leaning Colorado, but I'm going to stay off the side and total.
LJ from H-Town in the house. Great to see you. LJ says Dallas only lost 4 games by 2 goals in the last 30 games. And
they were called out too. So
this Dallas hockey team was 26-11-4 at home. They just ousted a very, very good Vegas team. I don't believe they're hurt. I do agree with you being that they're old. Hintz and Pavelski have done nothing. I know
I've lost on their totals.
We talk about, and Popano talked about it, about pivoting, when you're wrong on a series. And I wouldn't say that I'm wrong on the series. I didn't sit here and say that Dallas was going to win the series. Colorado just looks like a juggernaut, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I can get to the Stars. If I did bet the Stars, it'd be on the -1 line. I would go for the score on it. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to sit with all this. I'd like to tell you that I'm going to, but I don't know. I don't know. Colorado is so scary. They're so scary. They're so confident, but Fuck, I don't know. Slatchy says Big Val, Rantanen all played. McKinnon all played 27 minutes last game. Lack of depth is going to catch up for the Avs, in my opinion. That would, probably be games 5 if it gets there in Dallas.
They got big boys that they got just bruisers though. They don't necessarily have like the Leafs were a bunch of fast little skilled players. They're more of just a physical. I think they're a downhill team. Colorado. They're just, you know what I mean?
I don't think they're big enough and tough enough. Now Nichushkin and Nichushkin, Rantanen, those guys are bigger than they look. But
I'm just gonna bring up their line. Oh yeah, shout out to Keith getting fired there. Thank God. Fuck, I thought that.
All right, I've got. I think I can get to the Stars.
Yeah,
I think I can, but I can't tell you that I with 100% certainty that I'm going to get there right now. I think I need to sit with this longer. I expect to get to the Stars, but every time I get close to saying I'm going to, I stop my eyes. I get scared. So I think I get to the Stars. I am going to get to the Hurricanes, which could blow up in my face. I'm going to be on the unders and Rangers Hurricanes, expecting the Hurricanes' best game. And we should expect the Stars' best game, but it's hard to say that. All right, we've got to move on to Friday's action here. We're going to be cutting Friday's action out, but they did want to hear your plan for golf that pops off here in about 15 minutes.
All right, guys, a little golf action here. Yeah, teeing off at 12. No outrights right now, but I'll tell you, I do a whole Excel stuff here. So I'll tell you the guys that I do like here. Xander stands out a lot to me here. A lot. Clark as well. Wyndham Clark. Adam Schenk is a good pick as well. If you want to take matchup bets, top 20s. Alex Noren, Homa, Burns, Jaeger Bombs, Jason Day, Thigala, Cantlay, and Finau, even Siwoo Kim. Those are some golfers I'm looking at. Some players I'm fading for you. Glover, Fowler, Lowry, and Straka. And you know what? Zalatoris and Horschel. I'm not too high on them either. I know a lot of people like Zalatoris, but kind of fading him. So those are some players I like there. Just because my outrights, Jimmy, I think I haven't hit a single outright this year, but the matchup bets, guys, we've been up close to 20 units. So that's kind of where I'm going to put my focus on going forward. Other than the majors, we're going to have some outrights and some fun stuff for you. But yeah, those are the players I like there, guys. Check out my Excel spreadsheet. You can do that on my Twitter, Gogster99.
I love it. I love it. There's some great stuff in here. Outside the
landlines.
Billy Friedrich says Gogster has a pocket full of loose, hard candies, and they're all stuck together in a big ball.
I just got back from Blockbuster. Just picked up
DVD. Let's talk NHL playoffs for Friday, May 10th. East second round, game 3, Panthers, Bruins tied at 1. We're at TD Garden in Boston. Let's talk about this spot. I moved on it immediately, and I didn't feel the fear I usually feel, when a team beats up the opponent. Panthers coming off the 6-1 demolishing of the Bruins. I couldn't believe that the Panthers were available at -115.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Boston's full of character, but they're just not an elite hockey team. And when you get down to 8 teams left in the NHL, if you're not elite, you get sent packing. The Panthers right now are at -123 at Pinnacle. They opened up at -119. I got -115 at Bet365. At that time, my bookie, all these other books were at -125. I couldn't understand why it was 10 cents cheaper, and I hit it.
That's a good bet.
From a total side of things here, we are dealing with, it's also, you can make a lot of mistakes when you watch a game, you watch a team dominate, and you think it's just going to happen again. And I get it, but I just felt like I had to take that number. I got in on the Panthers after the first period at +130 last night. It was all very good, but it had been a rough day up to that point. This total is sitting at 5.5. It's -114 to the under. Swayman, 5-3-0, 1.82 goals against average, 942 save percentage. He still has great numbers, despite getting touched up for 4 goals. I still think he goes in.
100%.
Bobrovsky, 2.71 goals against average, 893 save percentage in the playoffs. He isn't being that good, but he's made big saves when he needs them. Kent Davis says Circus still has him -118. So then, Boston's power play, 27.3%, and penalty killing 93.3%. But Panthers finally got a power play goal against the Bruins. We'll get into that. The Panthers power play is not being good in the playoffs, 18.2%, and penalty killing 84%. So Montour had a goal and 2 assists. Sammy Reinhart had 4 assists. Bobrovsky only had to make 14 saves. I just don't see how the Bruins can match up against this Panthers team every second night. I just don't see it every second night. Charlie Coyle scored for the Bruins. I love Charlie Coyle. What a year he's had. So Swayman allowed 4 on 23 shots. Barkov looked phenomenal. He looked so good. 8 points in his past 3 games. I've never seen him look better.
He's looking great.
I don't know that there's only one team in the East, and it's easy. It's the Rangers, obviously, with Shesty. I mean, who else can mess with him? And Trocheck getting a chance to play against Florida, I know that would make him very happy. So, look, I moved on to Panthers. Again, I'm bet at 400, not at 300, and got a minus 115. And I'm just ready to get paid. I've got the Panthers to win the East and to win the Cup. I didn't get the best numbers. I got 5-1 on the East and 10-1 for the Cup. But this is get me out of jail free card, or maybe I stay locked up. But I think they're going to get me out of jail. Take it away, Gogster. Panthers, Bruins, Game 3, Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
What a game last night was, guys. Last night, if you didn't watch that third period, Boston just pretty much brought out their bruisers and said, let's just fight anyone. And then Pasta says, hey, coach, I'm going to fight Kachuk. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to fight Kachuk. And he just, dropped the gloves, almost got his face knocked in. But Boston's pissed off, guys. Then McAvoy, too. He was flat on his face there, getting beat up. Boston in the first period, guys at home, they're going to come out, as long as they don't take too many stupid penalties here. They're going to come out best. They're going to give it their all, short and sweet. Swayman, they pulled them too, and coach there gave them. They just said, kind of just don't worry about this game's a wash. Pretty much, they're down 5-1. They pulled them, or I think it was 4-1, and then Walmart came in, so they're going to go back to Swayman. I'm not worried about that. I think he's going to have a strong bounce back game now. 5-on-5 though, they're slow. They're just kind of like I was saying about against Dallas guys. Boston went 7 against Toronto, had 1 day off. And then look at what Florida did, right? They're able to come in similar, like a 5-day rest. So it's very similar. I'm not sure if I can trust Boston full 60 minutes here, but the first period, there's no way in hell this team's not going to come out, give it their all here, Jim. And I think it's enough. Plus 104. I have first period money line on them. Expected goals, though, 4.47 last game to 1.27. They just laid an egg. Looked like they were just too many games. They need some rest. They're not going to really get the rest either. So it's very similar to that Colorado Dallas game, guys. I'm just not so sure about 60 minutes, how they're going to keep up with Florida 5-on-5. So 76-70 hits to your last game for Florida. It was just they were really beating up on each other. And more that happens, the more advantage, in my opinion, to Florida in this game. So first period, Boston money line plus 104 is going to be the action for Friday.
First period for the Bruins. I'm not going to go back to the first period under. I think now that the Panthers have broken through the Boston penalty kill, I think there's going to be power plays, a lot of power plays. I think there's going to be a lot of emotion. I think Boston is concerned, and I think they're going to emote. Montgomery's emoting all over the bench. I mean, I think they're just going to get in their feelings. They're going to start chopping at Kachuk. They already hate Kachuk. I want to keep it clean.
Kachekov is starting.
Wow.
Oh, okay. He's going.
Wow.
See, he wasn't playing well. I didn't think he'd do it. I was saying he's got to play well, Anderson. He hasn't looked good. So, you know what, though? This Kochetkov, Russian goalie in the playoffs going up against Shesterkin, he says, listen, coach, how he's going to be, though, just not playing playoff hockey in a little bit. That's going to be the question, guys. Wow. Kochetkov's in net. They're kind of saying it. I'm surprised by that. I kind of am. I thought they were going to wait till maybe the fourth game. But, Kochetkov, I still think – I know Billy, our resident, was saying they think he's the same. But I think Kochetkov has a little more upside, at least. I think pressure is more – Kochetkov can handle the pressure, I think, a little more than Anderson can in the playoffs. So that's, I guess, all I'll say. But interesting. Wow.
They're certain that was the phone call. That you already knew about this.
Yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't tell you guys. Yeah, that's what it was.
I don't. That throws me for a loop, man. I mean,
It does.
all I've said all year long
I like it.
is when Russian goaltenders play against each other, when
too.
a
I love
Russian
it.
goaltender gets to go up against Shesterkin, they step up.
And these are two kids like under 25. You're like this is a young, and this Kochetkov, like both of them are very similar. Like they'll both go up to a player and talk shit to the ref. You know what? Maybe your goalie fight if all hell breaks loose. I could see that even happening. But yeah, the Russian goalies in the playoffs, they mean business. Look at Vasilevsky, guys. Almost won 3 cups in a row. And there's another one actually in Milwaukee, Nashville Predators. Askarov. He's another Russian goalie who will pretty much knock anyone out. Pretty much they come in the crease anyway. It's another Russian goalie, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Now the over under, I'm not too sure about that now. I don't know how the game's going to go. I don't know how that's going to go just because it's his first game in a minute. But Kochetkov and Shesterkin, that's going to be must watch tonight.
Wow. Okay, let's go into game 2. Edmonton Oilers at Vancouver Canucks. We're going to get into MLB after this, 10 p.m. Eastern on Friday night. Friday nights are my favorite opportunity to watch sports because I don't need to cap the entire card while I'm doing it. Stuart Skinner going up against Arturs Shilovs. You know, Vancouver showed a ton of heart, a ton of character. And the city is buzzing. And Edmonton has got to be concerned. The biggest question, of course, is Draisaitl. Do we believe Knobloch? Do we believe that it's what did they call it? Just a little they call it so funny. Just winded. Just cramping and winded. It didn't look like that to me. I mean, that just that's a
bad excuse on the spot. You got to think of a better one than that. Come on.
But he did come back in the third period. He is crucial. Draisaitl's size, his one-timers. I mean, if there's no Draisaitl, the Canucks are going to comfortably win this series. The Canucks overcame a 3-goal deficit to win a playoff game for the second time in their history. God, I remember watching this game like it was yesterday. Game 5, 1994 Western Conference Final. We took out the Leafs 4-3. Double overtime that won us the series 4-1. God, that was magic. This Canucks team is so different with Nikita Zadorov out there. He's so tough. He's so cocky. He's so brash. He's so perfect. Connor Garland also, they scored 39 seconds apart. JT Miller is everything that anybody ever could. You put together that was the only thing Benning did for us. Getting him for a first-round draft pick with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Dakota Joshua, a goal and 2 assists. And then the big thing is that Shilovs only had to make 14 saves. That's all he had to do, make 14 saves. Hyman scored twice. That fourth goal, I mean, I was shocked that it went in. I know it was slightly deflected, but it shouldn't have gone in. Draisaitl and Hopkins each had 2 assists. Skinner made 19 saves. He looked vulnerable. Vancouver outshot Edmonton 19-8 over the final 2 periods. They took the game to the Oilers. McDavid, where was he? A -1 in 24 minutes. No shots on goal. The question now is, should we, and I don't do this often, but after McJesus gets a blank, do you want him in the player prop market?
Over 1.5?
No, I think goal. And I know he only has a goal in the playoffs, right? But
he's been assist master, yeah.
But I need to know what's going on with Draisaitl, because if Draisaitl is not there, not playing well, then the only person you got to focus on is McDavid. And we do have a ton of length on defense with this knucklehead team. So Draisaitl misses 8 minutes of the second period. He returns for the third. This guy has played 6 playoff games this year, is multiple points in 5 of them. And Knobloch says nothing at all, just cramping. By the way, Hyman has a tie with Mark Messier for the most goals by an Oilers player through the first 6 games of a playoff. He's passed Wayne Gretzky and now tied with Mark Messier. Take it away here for Nut Flush On as well as Jimmy betting a player prop. I've bet 746 in the last 2 weeks in NBA.
Oh,
Gogster, take it away. Your plan for Canucks.
well,
Yeah.
your Canucks, man. What a game that was last night, brother. That's a sign that they're not going to go anywhere in this series. I know everyone was taking Edmonton too. You know, Zach Hyman, he's been 2 goals again last game. But the rest of the team, you know, where are they? You know, McLeod, Nugent Hopkins, Janmark, even defense. They're just not that deep. If I look at this team, really, like Evander Kane too, he did nothing last game. It's similar to Colorado, just not as I don't know how to say it. Almost just not as good. I guess lack of better words there, guys. But in this game, Jim, I don't know, man. I think Vancouver. It's tough. I got nothing on this game, to be honest. Skinner and Sivos, they're going to have to go to Sivos. They just have the momentum right now, Vancouver. Now, the game on Friday, you got to think Edmonton's going to come in pissed off. But if there's no Draisaitl, how are they going to attack this game? I don't know. I really don't know this one, unfortunately, guys. I wish I had a better breakdown for you. But going forward, though, in this series, you're going to have to see more from Edmonton, I think. That's a backbreaker, losing that game. And then Skinner, he kind of I think it was the 5th goal, Jim, or the 4th goal. It was a bad goal. It was a bad goal, I thought. So Silvos, I don't know how you got to think overs. The more I'm thinking about this series, it might just be an over series. If Silvos, you know, it's a tough spot he's going to be in with this Oilers team. And I do think your McDavid, he's going to have to take matters into his own hands at this point. He's going to have to score. I think you're right with that, Jim. A goal prop might be actually where I look for McDavid. The more I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
If Draisaitl is in, and we are certain McDavid is not hurt.
Yeah.
Those 2 things I've got to figure out the next, this game pops off in 34 hours. So, I think that would be the only thing that I do, because I do not want to fade the Canucks after that comeback and figuring out what's going on with Draisaitl. So that's going to be the only thing that I do. I need to see if he skates today, McDavid. I'd like him out there. I'd like them all out there. I want to know what happens at the optional skate today. And with McJesus always, just petering out in the playoffs.
Wow, Billy.
I think he steps up. Joseph Gomez says, did Edmonton just get overconfident with the early lead? They just, maybe.
Yeah, they do that. They that's 100%. They do that. I think against the Kings a couple times, the Kings almost came back against this team. So they do kind of get they I don't know what it is, but that's a good comment there. They do kind of get a little overconfident with the lead there. And then the Canucks, it's a team you can't count out. So and then Billy, I'm just going to say he thinks Edmonton can still win this series.
Yeah.
I would agree. This second game is big though. They gotta think if they're up and then Vancouver comes back again. It's just they got to figure out 60 minutes of play. They got to play a better 60 minutes against this Canuck team, because I really thought the Oilers were going to win that game when it was 4-1. I didn't think but they flipped a switch, and then Edmonton wasn't able to keep up. Shots on goal too. Another thing, I was watching that game. They had, I think, 3 shots on goal after the second period, or halfway through the second. Like, it was like 17-4 shots on goal for Vancouver. They were just all over them. Like, there was nothing they did there to try to at least score. Like, they were playing too defensive almost, and that's not their makeup. They got to start moving. They got to skate downhill too. So I think Canucks are live here, and then no Demko. Who knows if they can get Demko back? They get past this series. Vancouver could go farther than you think. So
wildly interesting, huge comeback for 604 Nation.
I agree, Leifer.
Great to see the character shown by the boys. So Friday action right now. I'm already on the Florida Panthers, and I want Connor McDavid props.
I agree with
but
that.
I need some confirmation that one, Draisaitl has to be in. So that's the first part of it. And I would like McDavid to be on the ice today. I want some confirmation. If he's not on the ice today, then I'm going to have to go back into the lab with this.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right. That is our NHL breakdowns for Thursday, May 9th and Friday, May 10th. Let's review Gogster's action here for New York Rangers, Carolina. Teravainen over 2.5 shots on goal. Jarvis over 2.5 shots on goal. Carolina money line in the under. Trocheck over 2.5 shots on goal. And Rangers team total under 2.5. This is the kind of situation where Kochetkov will either be a star or, obviously it goes without saying it's the biggest game of his life, but he will be the goalie for the rest of their run.
Yep.
Or
I think.
Or maybe he gets ditched in the offseason.
This team plays better, I find, Jimmy, behind him. Even if he's going to let out a couple goals for whatever reason. At Carolina, no, they have beaten him 5-on-5, but it's just Shesterkin. Yeah, he's been stealing the series. I do think he gets touched a little bit here. Kochetkov, I think, is going to give a little bit of boost behind him. That could be part of the reason. He maybe just doesn't, they outshot the Rangers last game, but it's just expected goals were in favor of the Rangers despite Carolina outshooting them. So, I'm going to trust Carolina here. I really am with Kochetkov. I actually like him because I was saying there's a lot of weight, guys, on Anderson if he didn't play well because he has not looked that good in this series. So I do like the Kochetkov. Little surprised, but I see why he's doing it.
And at this point, I'm going to be on Hurricanes -1 the first period, under 1.5, and full game under 5.5. But I'm telling you that I want to sit with this for a couple more hours. And then with the Oilers, with the Stars, I think I'm going to be on the -1 line with the Stars. And I still need to sit with that too. These dogs in tonight's action are very dangerous. Gogster in Colorado, Dallas has Robertson over 2.5 shots on goal and Heiskanen over 2.5 shots on goal. Then I'm already on Florida -115. I love it. We'll be betting them every game as we go forward.
I got Boston first period.
You have Boston first period. And at this point, no official action from either of us. But McDavid, I want him on the ice tonight. I want no Draisaitl's good. I'll move on the over 1.5 points and the goal. So I'll double up on McDavid props. And for you guys to know, with my unit size of 300, just to keep everything clear, and I've been going to 400 on sides in the playoffs over the last little while. If I do the goal and the over 1.5 points, I'd probably do those 200 each. I'm not going to do those 300. I'm not going to do a full unit each, and I'm not going to do the 400 extra one. So there you go. Gogster, excellent work, my friend. Go get them. Get that cash. Please support Gogster on X at Gogster99. Gogster, any last words for the Capper Sport and the show?
Shout out to everyone in the chat, guys. It's fun as always. Cap and Hockey there. Lucas, R, Doug, and you guys were on fire with the old school comments too.
Remember to be kind and rewind is very good. I'm that heat's been firing.
They've been unreal. The family ties will be a new episode. Everything, Blockbuster, you name it. I'll get my bingo stamper out next show there for you guys. But anyways, it's a treat as always, Jim. Get that cash. We'll see you guys next Thursday for some more playoff hockey.
There he is, Mr. Gogster in the house. I will go over all of those lines again because we have the famous show of Peter Loshak when we were in Costa Rica. His dryer or his washing machine broke. And so at the 2-week mark, he came in with a camouflage wife beater on. And it was the best jokes I've ever been a part of on a show. And I only remember a few of the jokes, but I have copied and pasted those jokes. And because Gogster off to his Dungeons and Dragons pizza party. Okay, let's move on to MLB. We're not going to talk about yesterday. We are only going to focus on today. Look, my record will show you what happened yesterday. And again, for those of you joining late, I lost 5 games with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. That's never happened to me in my life. 5 bets. So I think 4 games, 5 bets. And I lost 1 with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. Get that out of the way. Get that shit out of the way. Just like Ken Dryden would say. He would say, I'm going to save the next 99 of them. So let's get that shit out of the way. Let's move on to MLB and bring on the star of MLB capping here on Pub Sports Radio. It's amazing how close we were to a really big night because even Jose pulled it out. And of all my bets yesterday, I really feel like there was only one bad one, and that was San Francisco, Colorado, first 5 under 5. That was, again, getting too caught up in the weather and the cold weather there. And Lambert, what am I thinking he could pitch well? That was the only bad bet. Detroit, Cleveland, first 5 under 4 at even money, lost. The Detroit, Cleveland, full game under 7.5. We were going to cash both that and the Tigers at plus 122 with 2 out in bottom line. Angels, first 5 at plus 110. They covered they won the full game. But they were up 2-0 with 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. I can't get that. The Brewers money line, that was a loser. Milwaukee, KC under 9. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe it. I mean, that should have been 3-2 going in the bottom of the 9th. Game 2, Texas, Oakland over 8. The only thing that upset me there was not being on the first 5. Baltimore, Washington under 8.5. It was 3-1. It was 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th. And of course, Kimbrel comes in. Good God. You know what I should have done? And I'll do that from now on, I think, when Kimbrel comes in. If I got money on his team, the Orioles, I'm just going to live bet the other team small enough to cover because he's just, how much money has he cost people over the last few years? Miami, LA Dodgers under 9 was a nice bet. Orioles -1. Again, 3-1, bottom of the 9th. Orioles -1. Baltimore, Washington under 8.5. And both those should have cashed. Rays -1.5. Okay, there was a bad bet. Okay, sorry. There's 2 bad bets. I did think they were going to be able to put up some offense. I liked backing Savali, and I know he got lit up, and it wasn't Savali's fault. Boston, Atlanta, first 5 under 4.5. There was somebody in the chat said, "You really going to trust slick Nick Pivetta coming off the IL?" And I thought that he was worth trusting, and he allows 4 runs in the first inning. They only allowed 1 more run that game. And of course, the 5-0 run did come in I think the 4th inning or the 5th inning. So I lose the first 5 under 4.5. I cashed the full game under 8.5. I cashed the Twins, and then I lose that San Francisco, Colorado first 5 under 5. And Steve G says, you already know I went 1-0 yesterday in MLB. Rocks train's absolutely on fire. It sure is. And Jake Burns says 2 out, no runners in the 9th inning. Baltimore just refused to cover the run line. Cover the run line. They had 2 out. They were up by 2, 3-1, then 5-3, then 7-5 in that game. And that was all 9th inning and later, and I couldn't cash the -1 line. Good God. I mean, that's just, you have to remind yourself that this is the life you always wanted to live. You always wanted to build this bankroll and be able to fire at the card like that. I had to remind myself that many, many times. Let's bring on our friend. Maybe his sweet tea tits can change the vibe. I know you guys were spectacular here in the chat with Gogster. I enjoyed that. I would have enjoyed it more if, I didn't scoop myself out of the gutter to be here today. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101 and Pub Sports Radio, young Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
I'm okay. Can't complain. I salvaged it was a losing day, but it could have been much worse, obviously. But it's hot as fuck in my apartment still, and hopefully they're fixing that today. So it's going to be interesting.
Sabino Anguano says Minnesota Twins money on Seattle. Bats can't hit Lopez. Lock it in, everyone. Thank me later. I'm assuming you moved on that game as well. But I got some great lines. I got plus money on the under 3.5. No, just plus 100. I got plus there. I got the 7 on the full game. No, that was minus 120.
You know what's funny? I bet that like an hour before the show started, the full game under, and then I would say like 5-10 minutes into the show, I refreshed my book and they were showing 7s, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Why are they?" And I started getting nervous, and then I was like, "Am I gonna bet this again?" And I was like, "No, I guess we'll just see what happens." And I refreshed it again, and it's down to 6.5 again.
Oh wow, I didn't realize. We'll go over all that. I'd love getting that plus 100 on the 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking guzzled the fucking juice for it. So yeah, it's gonna be 3s soon, hopefully.
By the way, Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day in NHL is Dallas. I don't have everything set up here perfectly with our cappers in the chat's action here. But we'll go over everything again as we move forward. Okay. you know, I hate people who wallow, and I do it, and I hate when I do it. The financial swing I had yesterday was massive, and I can't get the L's off me. I can't get them off me. I mean, they're just I can't. These ones hurt so bad, and I'm gonna try my best. So let's get forward. We start at 1:10 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 17 and 28 and 10 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds 16 and 29 and 12 at home. We are at Great America Ballpark in Kansas City. Oh, excuse me. God, jeez. In Cincinnati, Ohio. What the hell's wrong with me? Let's get into the action here. There's my guy Wine Time in the house. I got it. We're going to have days like this. Just get it out of the way. Get it out of the way. And hopefully there's good. I've never had anything quite like that. I mean, it was just, okay. Just stop talking. 71 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 6.7 miles per hour out to left field, gets up to 10 miles per hour. So the wind gets stronger out as the game goes on. You have Slade Ciccone on the bump and Hunter Green, two young pitchers very highly thought of. Now, Hunter Green is the very highly thought of pitcher. Ciccone 1-2, 4.96 ERA, 0.80 whip. Now he's being touched for 3 jacks. That last start, he allowed 6 earned runs, 2 jacks. It was 7-1 loss at home to the Padres. They got to him. But he's had a great start to the campaign. 15 Ks, 3 walks. Hunter Green looks like the real deal. We know his velocity is off the charts. He's now able to locate 3.12 ERA, 1.17 whip, 47 Ks and 40 in the third, 2 home runs. He's allowed over 40 in the third. His last start was a thing of beauty. It was 3-0 loss at home versus the Orioles, but wasn't on him. 5 2/3, 5 hits, no runs, 5 Ks, now 4 walks. So even with, you'd think in this day and age for a strikeout pitcher to have 4 walks that he's not going to make it to the 5th inning. And he did. He threw 5 2/3. I mean, that was almost a quality start despite the L. The Diamondbacks versus righties, 218, 641 OPS. They don't hit them. Reds versus righties, 208, 645 OPS. They don't hit them. Both bullpens are vulnerable. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4.60 ERA, 1.40 whip, converted 7 of 14 save opportunities. While the Reds bullpens, a 4.51 ERA, 1.30 whip, converted 6 of 8 save opportunities. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow. We'll start with the line history here. I'll have this set up to move quickly. Again, there's just 7 games in MLB today. I've only moved on one of them. Our next game, we have these 2 afternoon starters. So with the Reds at Pinnacle, they're at minus 132 right now. They open up at minus 117. So we had 15 cents of movement, legit movement towards the Cincinnati Reds. And I'll pull up their lineups as well. I don't have them up right now. This is a pick 'em at 9 right now. Pick 'em at 9. Now this went down to 8.5 at 9:07 a.m. And not only that, but it was at 8.5 at a pick'em at 9:16 a.m. So it went to a legit 8.5 and then right back up to 9. Right back up to 9. When we get to the cash flow for our first afternoon game on the slate, we have 73% of tickets and 84% of cash on the Cincinnati Reds. And on the total here, we have 54% of tickets and 53% cash on the over. Perky says fade Hunter Green Day. Fade Hunter Green Day. We got Matty Ice.
That's what we have.
Play of the day is in second straight day on the Arizona Cincinnati full game under 9. That was a thing of beauty yesterday, wasn't it? It was just a no sweater for our guy Taint. A razor sharp picks here. Mikey Money not able to get down to San Antonio. That's too bad. We got to make that happen. And Razor says shot time. I can't do shot time. Ella has a huge performance today at the school. I got to get there at 5. I can't. I'm not a one-shot guy either. I'm not fucking.
Once you open up the wound, it just starts bleeding.
Let's play Blackout. I'm very good at that game. Take it away for us, Jose. Diamondbacks, Reds at Great America Ballpark.
Yeah, I don't have any action here. I lean towards the Reds with that movement. I lean under shot to Matty Ice again at the Taint play of the day. Whenever we mention Taint, it's hard not to play this. Shout out to Taint. Yeah, no action for me though. It passed on this game. I was more interested in the other game, just like you. I like Hunter Green. I think he can pitch well. And Slade Ciccone has pitched well this year, surprisingly. How long will that last? I don't know. So I stayed off.
I think that move could make everybody comfortable. Mikey Money says this is a monster spot for Hunter Green today.
Yeah.
And
It's not like, and Slade's coming off of 6 earned runs, but his last 2 starts before that were good. So just a heads up, and that was at home too. So maybe that's another take in it, but just a heads up there.
Razors on this under as well.
Shout out to Mikey. His grandma's wearing your sister's panties. Play of the day, Cincinnati, Minnesota.
Cincinnati, Minnesota parlay. Huh. Interesting. This is a very, very interesting spot here. We have this total, first 5 total opened up at 4.5. You see 4.5 across the board. You don't see it at Pinnacle because they moved it up to 5. They moved it up to 5 at 12 p.m. And when they moved it up to 5, it was minus 120 to the under. 11 minutes later, it's minus 110 to the under. I'm going to stay off this spot. I'm going to cheer you guys on, and I get it. Ronnie Lofton says Diamondbacks plus 130, getting healthier every day. Okay, let's move on to the next spot on the board, and this is where both Jose and I have doubled up. Wally, my guy, what up? DC Capper also on the under 9 in the Arizona game. 1:10 p.m. Eastern, we have the Seattle Mariners 20-17, 9-9 on the road. Minnesota Twins 21-15, 10-8 at home at Target Field, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Logan Gilbert going up against Pablo Lopez. Logan Gilbert has been spectacular of late. He is, on his way to be a Cy finalist at this point. Now it's too early to say, obviously, but God, does he look good. 0.79 whip, 48 innings, 50 Ks, 13 walks. That last start at the Astros was a thing of beauty. 8 innings, no earned runs, 6 Ks, and 4 walks. And Pablo Lopez, 3-2, 4.30 ERA, 1.04 whip, 45 Ks and 37 2/3, getting a lot of strikeouts. That last start at home versus the Red Sox. I can understand people liking the Hunter Green situation with the consecutive home starts. I like it here with Pablo Lopez. The Mariners just don't hit righties. 222, 664 OPS. Josh Lower, what's happening, my man? Mariners bullpen. Oh, and Twins don't hit righties. 223, 700 OPS. Mariners bullpen has been lights out all year. 2.73 ERA, 1.07 whip, converted 8-11 save opportunities. They scuffle a little bit, the last couple days, but I still trust them. And I trust the Twins bullpen too. 3.58 ERA, 1.19 whip, converted 13 of 19 save opportunities. So let's get into the line history. The weather does, help us. 48 Fahrenheit's cool. 10.1 miles per hour in, stays between 10.1 and 9.7. Then we'll get into the line history here. The first 5, I got the under 3.5 at plus 100. It's now under 3.5 at minus 122. And don't get me wrong, I can brag about the plus 100, but this opened up under 3.5 at plus 105 at Pinnacle at 5 p.m. yesterday. I mean, I wasn't there on it. It's only moved towards the under. Oh, I guess there's been a tiny bit of buyback. Once at 9:23 a.m., this was under 3.5 at minus 125. It had moved 30 cents at Pinnacle. There was some buyback. That's come back now. So under 3.5 is minus 122. Then under 3.5 had 27 cents of buyback. And beating a line like this is not as indicative of getting paid out as one would imagine, but it is pretty nice. From a full game standpoint, it's a 7 at minus 116. And this was a 6.5. It was a 6.5. And then at 11 a.m., it got up to 7. Makes me uncomfortable. I could get the under 7 at minus 116 right now. That makes me really uncomfortable. Not much I can do about it. Just looking at my Pacers action right now. Sorry. Let me move over to what they have right now. Now they have the 6.5 is now at bet 365. I'm curious when Pinnacle's moving in. I wonder why these guys aren't. If I wanted to turn this into a 7 here, if I wanted to turn this into a 7, it's just minus 130 to the under. Wow. So there's buyback. There's buyback on the full game, but not the first 5. The first 5 right now is at, sorry, here we go. The first 5 over at Bet365 is under 3.5 minus 125. So that it has still 25 cents move. Okay, so let's take a look at the cash flow here, because when you get in really early, you're not really privy to a matured market, but 91% of the tickets and 87% of cash on the over. I mean, that's been our wheelhouse this year. And on the money line, you have 81% of tickets and 59% of cash on the Minnesota Twins. So public, but not being backed. Troy, it's okay. I follow the cash cow spot, and I've lost on it twice. It's okay. It's okay. This is a marathon and not a sprint. I get it. I know, and you guys know I've been through days where I take a bath. I just don't quite take it like that, where a couple pitches located differently, I have a really big day. So it's just it hurt. It stung. Jose, take it away. We're both on unders. Are we concerned that this is moving back to the over? You said it had come back, but it doesn't look like that at Pinnacle. Take it away.
Yeah, I refreshed my book again. Now it's at 7 again at minus 120. Yeah, so that's concerning. Yeah, but I still like the bet, honestly. If it got to 7.5, then I'd think we're fucked. But 7, I can be okay with, just because it opened at 7 there, and at least it didn't open at 6.5, and now is a 7. So I'm okay with that. I honestly was consider betting it again, Jimmy, at the 7 minus 120 for me. But yeah, I like the unders still. I took first 5 and full game. I didn't get nearly as good as lines as Jimmy here. I got, let me pull this up, minus 125 for the 3.5 at first 5, and minus 105 for the under 6.5 there as well. So I got shitty lines, but I'll take them. Logan Gilbert has been an animal this year, and I think Pablo is finding his form. So unders for me as well.
And I didn't talk about the money line move, but the ZC33 saying line moving to Seattle. It is moving to Seattle. And what has hurt me this year is saying, when two pitchers have really low ERAs, and there's a lot of bets, and it starts kind of moving to the over, and I'm like, who's betting the over? It makes no sense. And it was with that Red Sox Braves game. Maybe teams just believe those teams are offensive. When I said that was a Ronaldo Lopez start. That game went way under. Here though, everybody sees Logan Gilbert's numbers, and you compare it to Pablo Lopez's numbers. Why would 81% of the tickets be backing Minnesota? Is it just a
I think it's because it's low. The total is so low. I think people see 6.5s and 7s and immediately start betting overs. Jimmy, I did move on it again. I took it again, 7 minus 120 as well. So I guess doubled up on full game, and I am on the first 5 under as well.
And Truth Teller says those numbers sound way too low, and that's why I love it, Truth Teller.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I love it, because everybody thinks that, and 90% of the tickets are on the over, and historically the low, very low, and this was something I learned from Noli Knows, but historically the very low unders cash at a very high rate, and the public's always on the other side. TJ says Lopez, XFIP, Sierra, and XERA are all better than Gilbert's. So I'm just going to leave it here on the 2 unders with Jose here. But it's something to track, Truth Teller, because you're just those numbers sound way too low. I've spent now, this is year 7, and watching Noli crush these very low numbers is appealing. Mikey Money says if this went from 4 to 3.5, it's going over, but this low going the other way works out. TJ on the under as well. Okay, let's move on. So that's my only action at this point in MLB. Let's see if we milk something. Now, I don't mind if that's my only action. Obviously, I'm feeling so much pain. I was talking to my friend at Ella's school who has a daughter in Ella's class, and I've told you guys about him. Nikhil Alexander Walker and Shay are he's nephews. He's their uncle. His name's Foots. And I was talking to Foots, and I was talking about, and he's like, how's Operation Garcia going? And I was just in a bad way. It was the wrong time to ask me about it. giving back. I got up 6.6 and gave back 7.5. How's that? Now, I told him that I wasn't going to stop betting it. And he was like, don't be stubborn. He said, and I was like, no, I'm going to come back and I'm tell you that I'm up again. And that these swings we have to handle as gamblers. It wasn't a fun conversation. We have Keaton Wynn here going up against Cal Quantrill. This was a bad bet yesterday. This was a bet. So, we brought up Noli, and hopefully we can get more Noli on the show, but we brought up, and he's been a big part of our baseball capping over my career. And he's not the only one. We've had lots of cappers talk about this. People just taking weather too far. And I made that mistake in this spot yesterday. The thought that I would trust Peter Lambert, I just couldn't believe. It was a bad capping. We have Keaton Wynn going up against Cal Quantrill. Port Dopes Cal Quantrill. Cal coming off a spectacular start. He's had 2 great starts over his last 3. Last start, 7 2/3, 3. It's 9 Ks, no walks, and 3-2 win at the Pirates. Keaton Wynn on the other side, coming off getting lit up and smoked at the Phillies. And my first thought is I like Keaton Wynn. I think Keaton Wynn can pitch. I would like to support him bouncing back, but is this where you want to bounce back? In the thin air of Colorado? I couldn't answer that question, so I have yet to move on it. Let's talk about the weather in the thin air of Colorado. 48 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour in. It's very similar weather to yesterday when the ball was flying over. Let's get into the line history here for this one. From a line history standpoint, we have Wynn at minus 146, opening up at minus 149. A very, really no movement, just the VIG tightening up. When we get over to the total in this one, sorry, I didn't have the second page set up here. I will. We get over to the total. We are sitting here with a 9.5 minus 108 to the under. This did get to 9 at one point. When at 11:06 a.m. this moved to 9. It only lasted there for 8 minutes, but we still have 6 cents of movement towards the under. And then when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 86% of tickets and 97% of cash on the San Francisco Giants. Obviously that makes the Rockies appealing. And Steve G sitting there going, how appealing? Jeremy, how appealing? Not 69% of tickets, 65% of cash. Here, 69 and 65 on the over. And we have a Giants team that doesn't hit righties. I mean, similar breakdowns to the Diamondbacks red spot. Giants are 238, 676 against righties. Rockies are 231, 655. Both bullpens are bad. It's very, very, very similar numbers. Mikey Money says, I'm running the Rockies and over 9.5 again at plus 380. Maybe he's the stubborn one. I don't think being stubborn is a problem. Nufflush Allen says, just a heads up, Kyle Harrison pitched a ton in altitude and has no issue with it. I tell you what, I'm gonna back Kyle Harrison in every single start from now on. I think he is everything that they said he was going to be, and he's got over the hiccups. Take it away, Jose. Giants, Rockies.
Yeah, I'm kind of agreeing with Troy Torrance about the under in this game. We don't see many 9.5s in Wrigley in Coors. And admittedly, I do kind of want to move on this under. Like I said, the market, maybe I don't know. I'm a little skittish here today as well. But 69% of the bets and 65% of the money on the over in this game. Typically, again, I kind of want that in the 90s when I'm betting these unders. But I think I'm being a little bit too picky choosy, perhaps. Opened up at 10, juice to the under, and it did end up going to 9.5. Even in minus 110, not juice to the under again here at minus 120 here. So I think the under is in play for me as well.
Yeah, I don't dislike it, but Mikey Money talking about this. The chat, this is as strong as the chat's ever been, man. It's just one after another. But you're right, JP Taylor. It's grandma, man. It's grandma. I mean, man,
facts.
Mikey's grandma must be a smoke show too, eh?
I know she's a stubborn bitch.
Nothing wrong with that. Keaton Wynn, Cal Quantrill. I gotta just leave this alone here. I don't it makes me nervous that Mikey loving the edge he's got on the over. TJ has a slight edge on the under. And Flush Allen says, start tracking this. If you cap any Giants game and have confidence that the opponent will score 4 or more, bet against the Giants and move on. Okay. Joey Marinaccio also interested. And why wouldn't he be? And Flush Allen saying that, Harrison has a chance to be the next Mad Bum. I like it. I'm going to bet mark my words, in my rotation. Okay. We're off this spot, Jose.
Yep.
Let's move on. Next up for us, 8:05 p.m. Eastern with the Houston Astros 12-24, 5-12 on the road. The New York Yankees 25-13, 13-5 at home at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, baby. Let's pull out the weather here for this one. We have 72 Fahrenheit, 7.5 miles per hour in, stays between 7.5 and 7.8 miles per hour. Getting to the line history here for this one. This is the big game of the day. We have Strosho and Blanco. This total is at 8. It opened up at 9. So we're down a full run. And it's even slightly juiced to the under. From a money line standpoint here, we have Stroman and the Yankees at minus 130. They opened up at minus 126. 4 cents of movement towards them. And when we get into the cash flow, we have 88% of tickets and 87% of cash on the over. Wow. Crazy. Whew. I mean, that full run means I'm too late. But that's 91% of tickets and 97% of cash on the New York Yankees. Maybe I'm not too late, though. And I know you don't trust Ronel Blanco, but maybe I'm not too late. He's coming off 3 earned runs over 6 innings. Did allow 2 jacks. It was a quality start. He did get the win. Oh, I think he got the win. It was a 5-3 win at home, I believe. I don't quote me on him getting the win. His numbers, of course, buoyed by the no-hitter. And then Strosho coming off a 2-1 win at home versus the Tigers. The Astros are only hitting 251, 710 OPS versus righties, while the Yankees 256, 781. The Astros bullpen 4.71 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, converted just 3 of 11 save opportunities. The Yankees bullpen the best in baseball. Chosen one leaning towards the Astros. Joey Harb is on the Yankees team total over 4.5. And TJ says sometimes it's easy. Houston sucks. Yankees are good. Rodney Barton adding the Astros at plus 116 to the card. Take it away for us here, Jose. Obviously, this market will push you towards the Astros, but you don't like Ronel Blanco. What are your thoughts?
I don't, but I'm on the under 8.5. I got it at minus 110 already. So I'm in. I'll trust him today. And the thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. I believe they've already split this series 1-1. This is for the series, I believe, and this is going to be a well-played game, I think. A tight game, playoff atmosphere. The Yankees hate the Astros, et cetera, et cetera. So under for me, 8.5. You read that market, and it makes sense to me. I did just see that there's 8s a lot everywhere as well, so that makes me feel a lot better about getting the 8.5 here.
And it's juiced to the under.
Okay, wow. And by the Yankees are up 2-0, so never mind about that. But I still like the under, obviously, because of the total. Or because of the market, excuse me. The Yankees have won 10 straight? Really? Oh my God. I hate when I'm right about this bullshit. I hate the fucking Yankees. But yes. Oh no, is Stacks the over? Oh fuck, Stacks is the over 8.5.
Yeah,
Shit.
Stacks the over 8.5. Wow.
Well, Justin, me and you, Justin, it's time, Justin. You coming on the steak train, Justin?
Oh,
you gonna ride that roller coaster, Justin? I'm ready.
It is one hell of a roller coaster. The old steak train. I don't even know if do we still have the steaks train up there?
Everybody in the audience, now listen to me carefully, is being given a special package, and I don't want you to open it. Do not open it. Cameras are on you, so do not open until I tell you. All right, open your boxes. Open your boxes. 1, 2, 3.
You get a steak. 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 Everybody gets a steak.
And he is taking you up on your steak bet.
That's on. And Johnny Guns, we've had like 3 steak bets in the last week. I think I'm 1-2. It's been tough.
So, did you have interest in the Astros here. I mean, 97% of the cash. Did you have interest in the Astros?
I hadn't really capped money line wise which side I liked in this game because I was more focused on the under. But I'm seeing this line opening up at -125. It did go up, but it is still at -126 on Bet Online. Our friends at Bovada opened this up at -133. It's at -136 now. It got up to -139. I just, I guess the main reason why I'm not on the Astros, besides me not trusting Ronald Blanco and thinking this team is not very good, is the fact that my sides recently have been kind of shitty and I've just been dominating totals. So I lean Astros, but I don't want to make a bet on it. And Troy Torrance, good pod right there. The optional misery play of the day, Astros.
Yeah. Huh. I have interest in the Astros, and I will only move on them at this point if I cash those first two unders. If not, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go to Ella's show and shut the fuck up. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. We have, though, Jose getting a nice number on that under 8.5. What was the juice anyways, Jose?
-110.
Houston. Oh, nice. That helps too. Okay, so we're getting under 8.5, -110. Going up against Stacks.
Yeah,
okay.
Fuck you, Justin. Let's go.
Let's roll. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. We have Cleveland Guardians, 24-13, 12-7 on the road at the Chicago White Sox, 9-28, 5-12 at home. We're at Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago, Illinois. Let's start with the weather here on this one. We have light rain throughout this ball game.
JB, I'm kind of fucked. Stacks is on a 3-game winning streak too. Fuck.
Stacks is rolling. Do we think this game goes at this point?
I bet it like it's going, so I hope it does.
All right. Let's just see what RotoWire thinks about this one, whether it's going to go. What are the chances of it going? It's going. So light
Troy,
rain,
let us know.
30 light rain in Chicago. Yeah, those of you in Chirac with boots on the ground, let us know. Troy says Fetty pitches no hitter. Very
okay. Well, I'm glad we're going conservative on it. But he's been solid though. He's been great. I'm sure the White Sox will try to trade him.
Remo says poor countries need to make bets with Jose to feed their masses. Also, we had Wild Hound in the house. Wild Hound picked up $40K on not on our. I mean, he did it on his own. But during our horse racing show on Friday on Razor Sharp Picks channel, picked up $40,000. Ben Lively going up against Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty was once on my rotation. It wasn't a winning year. We have Lively at -150, opening up -142. Lively and the Tribe got up to -167. At that point, there'd been a 25-cent move on the Guardians. Now just an 8-cent move. So we've had a considerable buyback from a total perspective. God, sorry, annoying. Here we go. From a total look here, we are sitting with this one at 8, -110 to the under. This got to 7.5, and then it came back. So there was a move to the under. Now there's still been 10 cents of movement towards the under. Let's take a look at, and Lamont's max bet is in Houston full game run line. Oh, wow. Houston full game run line for our guy Lamont Williams in the house.
And Lamont, that's -1.5. I'm assuming. I don't know what the +1.5 juice would be.
Yeah, that is a good point. Can you clarify if that's a alternate line, or the +1? I would imagine that's +1.5.
Yeah, what's the juice on that? I'd be interested.
You'd say, that's got to be a +1.5. That's what we take it. If someone writes a full game run line and they're the dog,
that's what I would assume as well. But yeah, that's why I said I'm sure the juice for the +1.5 is pretty, juicy.
But Mike doesn't think he is rolling at the +1.5, -175. So we'll let Lamont let us know his plan here. DC Capper on Cleveland -145. And Billy Freer says, look at Fetty's home splits. The guy is unhittable.
I mean, Billy, you heard Troy say no hitter today.
Billy Friedrich pig milk play today is White Sox first 5 money line at plus 110.
Billy's on a no hitter train.
And let's go. Okay, so and Steve G shouting out Nikola Jokic for winning the MVP. I can't wait to talk about basketball.
And Lamont's on first 5 run line.
Oh, okay. First 5 plus a half. Even that would be really, really juiced. But I'd like to hear what is it? Okay, so Billy Friedrich says Fetty wins the World Series this year. You heard it here first, meaning that Fetty,
he's getting traded.
He'll get picked up, by a good team here. So let's go over this. So we have Lively, 6 innings for its 1 earned run this last start, 7-1 win at home versus the Angels. He looked very good. Fetty got touched up at the Cardinals. The Guardians are not hitting righties, 231, 677 OPS. White Sox versus righties, 216, 612 OPS. Guardians bullpen's been lights out. 2.44 ERA, 1.02 whip. Are you kidding me? Converted 8 of 11 save opportunities. And the White Sox bullpens looked a little better again. I mean, it's just 4.22 ERA, 1.47 whip. I do not believe in this bullpen, but they've looked a little better. So pig milk play of the day is in. Why don't we take a look at the cash flow? And I believe we haven't touched on the weather here, have we? Oh yeah, the light rain. 11 opens up at 14.3 miles per hour to right, then 11 by the end of it. So cash flow here for this one, we have 82% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on your Cleveland Guardians. And on the total here, we have 95% of tickets and 95% of the cash on the over. Wow. I think I know where you're heading. Take it away for us here. Guardians, White Sox.
Under. Yeah, no, I'm on the full game under. It's my last play that I added on here. I was I was hoping it would move to 7.5, but it opened juice to the over, and that juice flipped to the under. So I decided, you know what? I'll hopefully try to anticipate this jumping down to 7.5. I took the under 8. I got it at minus 115. So again, hoping that's a 7.5. That'd feel a lot better if it was.
And it was. It was. It got down to 7.5. I mean, but do you know that at 9? Sorry, at 9:08. Oh, sorry again. At 10:02 a.m. This was juiced to the over 8.
Yeah, that's basically why I moved on it. The juice flipping, and then again hoping that it stays at 7.5. By the way, again, Troy Torrance team total under full game a half for the Guardians there. Troy's confident. I mean, when Eric Fetty throws a no hitter today, we'll be good. White Sox aren't going to score 8 runs by themselves, so I like this.
Ramon Scott getting in on it too. Here, let me ask you, and Sabino, great to see you, man. So good that we didn't lose you forever.
Yeah, Sabino was dropping. I think it was Twins earlier in the chat. I don't remember Sabino.
Yeah,
I considered moving, but there was a lot of mixed bags in there. Sabino, shout out to you.
Sorry, I don't understand your comment there, though, Jose. So when it started getting juiced to the over 8, you moved on it?
No, to the under 8. When I saw the move, I saw it obviously open to the juiced 8, and then I saw it going down to minus 120, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna bet it now in the hopes that it's 7.5 eventually, and it stays at 7.5, and I can feel like a smart genius.
And you were right until an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it always bangs out. I mean, with the same thing with our 7, 6.5. Now it's kind of a similar thing. Hopefully, it doesn't bite us in the ass. I mean, I bet that twice. So I like these spots. Again, my totals have been good. That's kind of why I'm sticking to them recently, and I'm hoping that continues today.
Okay, let's roll on. Respect Lamont, thanks for rolling with us. And Wild Hounds is already the pup here in Leverkusen, Germany. We drink beer by the gallon.
Wild Hound is just like everywhere. One week he's in England, and next week he's in some horse track somewhere else. Now he's in Leverkusen.
40 large playing.
Yeah, with that you can travel. Fuck.
I love our guy Wild Hound, man. We love you, Sabino. Please don't put our friendship on the line on a bet ever again. Please.
Don't do it until next year.
We have the move back to the over concerns me.
Yep.
And also after, getting touched yesterday, I'm just a little hesitant. Gregorio Ruiz ready to talk basketball. We're going to be talking basketball here shortly with Billy Brisbane, who's on just an unbelievable run here on the show, which we'll go over. I believe it's 14-3 over his last 17, coming off a 2-in-1 day here with us. And I'm interested in the under. And I'm going to have time to figure that out with you guys. So let's roll. Next up for us, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, we have the St. Louis Cardinals at Milwaukee Brewers. Cardinals 15-21, 9-10 on the road. Brewers 21-15, 7-7 home at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. What the hell are we going to get from Tobias Myers? I can't tell you. I went over Tobias Myers this morning, and you have to think after Tobias Myers allows 5 home runs in his first 13 innings to start the year that he would be, very vulnerable. And
until you face the Cardinals offense, apparently.
Well, it's one of those weird things that years ago I'd be like, look at the advantage that there, but now I know that it's a little trickier than that. Let's talk about Tobias.
It's just the market screaming under here again.
Tobias also was taken out of high school. It's one of those things where if Tobias Myers pitches well, then the other's going to hit for sure. But can you trust him here? In AAA, we've talked about Tobias Myers already this year. He's lights out in AAA, and this is a strange 25-year-old because he was drafted in 2016. So he was drafted as a child, and so he's been around. So at 17 years old, he went to rookie ball for the Orioles. Then he was in the Rays system, moved over to the White Sox system. In Nashville this year, he's been incredible. He's started 3 games. He's been in 4, 16 and 2/3. He's allowed 3 earned runs, 22 strikeouts in those 16 and 2/3. Then he comes up to the show and he gets touched up. He just gets touched up. This is his first year pitching in the majors. So Robert Franco on Cards, first 5 -0.5, and Stimmy OG big on the Cards. And let's pull up the line history here for Cardinals Brewers. We have this total at 7.5. It opened up at 8.5, so we're back down a full run. Not only that, but it's -111 to the under. It's like heavily juiced to the under. We don't need to worry about whether the roof is going to be closed. Then we'll get into the line history here for this one. On the money line. From a money line standpoint, we are sitting here with these Cards at -137. It's so fishy. But if you believe, it's hard to believe this. So this is saying that at 4:56 p.m. yesterday, this opened up with the Brewers at -119, and they're now +126. Was there a pitching change? Is there any kind of reason why there would be, a 50-cent move? Let's go over to Bet Online and just have this proved.
I saw that too. I was pretty shocked that they saw the Brewers opened up as favorites, but I assumed that was a pitching change or just a wrong line.
I don't know why. And I don't think it was a wrong line because then at 4:11 it was -118. This pitching change is the only possible because at 9:33 p.m. there was a 23-cent move towards the Cardinals. Was somebody else supposed to pitch? Maybe someone can tell us in the chat.
Yeah, I would guess that Billy is probably right because obviously the Cardinals game got rained out yesterday and Gray was supposed to pitch. So maybe they put the line out already. Assuming
that's probably I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it.
So yeah, I like I said, I assumed that was a weird line for a reason.
So the line that we should say was real was this one at not. So okay. So at 9, I think you nailed 9:33 p.m. This line opens at -120 with these 2 pitches. So then at that point, there's been 17 cents of movement to the Cardinals, which is still legitimate movement. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. We have 55% of the tickets and 46% of the cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 45% of the tickets and 79% of the cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. Wild stuff here. The Brewers hit righties hard and the Cards don't hit them at all. So, there's that huge advantage with the Brewers, and both bullpens have been very good. Take it away for us here. The ribeye play today is in Nolan Arenado at +155 here. Nolan Arenado for our Mikey money. Take it away, Jose. Cardinals, Brewers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just take the under in this game. I'll jump on, run lower, whatever. I got the 7.5. I got -105 here, Jim. I just bet it during the breakdown. And again, normally I would prefer, 90+% or at least a bigger percentage of bets and money on the over. But when the market's crashing with only 45% of the bets and 54% of the money, I think that's kind of telling. I don't think either of these teams is very offensive juggernaut. The Brewers, I would say better offense, which is kind of surprising to say, but I trust Sonny Gray here. So I took the under.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense here. And if we did the same thing with the line movement on the under, let's just go over what Pinnacle did once it was announced. So once it was announced was about 9:33 p.m. or so.
Yeah, and I think it opened up at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still went down. So that made me feel better about, being it's not really a full run late to the party or whatever you want to call it. You're only getting a half run. So
Lee Davis says Myers has given up 5 home runs in 13 innings, 2 leadoff home runs and 3 starts.
Yeah, it'd be nice if this guy could lock it down. No, I don't, obviously I don't typically have faith in Tobias Myers, but I think the Cardinals offense is pretty bad. Like Goldschmidt is looking washed, and it's sad to say. It is sad to say, but he's looking washed up.
Yeah, the Arenado Goldschmidt combo is not daunting for pitchers anymore. I'm interested in joining you. I think this makes sense. I think that Tobias Myers numbers would scare anybody off of this. So the fact that there's still a belief in it, I think this makes sense. Okay, I think I'm going to join you on this one. Let's move on to our final spot on the board. I got to let Brizzy know here that he is up next.
I was so close to betting the Royals here. I came so close, as in I actually did bet the Royals, was about to tweet it out, and then canceled my bet and deleted that portion of the tweet. That's how close I was to the Royals. I wanted the Royals bad here, but I did not. I pussed out, I guess. It's tough.
Well, let's talk about this spot here. I spent quite a long time on it as well. I'm confused with these two starters. Kansas City Royals 22-16, 7-8 on the road. At the LA Angels 14-23, 4-11 at home. And JP Taylor's right. They are without their starting catcher after the debacle. Broken shoulder, right?
Broken forearm.
Broken forearm. Frank is on the Kansas City Royals' top spot today in MLB. Frank gave me the confidence to move on to Twinkies yesterday. Let's go. Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. These Angels just 4-11 at home, but they are playing better. Let's get into the line history here. Justin McKelvey says, can you contact Dutch and tell him to check his emails? I imagine that Dutch has been asked to check his emails nonstop over 15 or 20 years. It's just my guess. It's something that's
probably.
They say to me that I get that all the time. Do not check your emails.
And you're like, what email?
Yeah. I still have a Hotmail address. Wouldn't that give you a sign that maybe you shouldn't email me? The Detmers and the Angels is at minus 101. They opened up at plus 102. So we've had no movement here. We get to the total. We are sitting here with an 8. It's just because, Justin McKelvey, it's funny. He asks you to check your emails because he's not on social media, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's throwback right there, Justin. I respect it.
What's that, Gampy? What's that, Gampy? Gampy, you want Dutch to check his emails? Okay, this total opening up at 8.5, now at 8. 8.5 now at 8. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one. 60% of tickets, 64% cash on the Royals. And then on the total, we have 75% of tickets, 82% cash on the over. 75 and 82 on the over. This is what I was thinking about. No, Justin, I don't, Justin. This is the first time I've had an opportunity to fire at you, man. No, I don't have a landline. I don't have a landline. Sorry for calling you Campy. BJ says social media toxic. Look, I don't have IG or nothing like that, but I do have Twitter because we do a lot of our connections on there. But I digress. Michael Walker going up against Reed Detmers. Michael Walker 1-4, 5.50 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, 31 Ks, 37 2/3. I like Michael Walker. I loved him last year. He made us so much money last year, and he was one of the few that did that for me. But he looks lost right now. coming off a home start where he got lit up and smoked. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 Ks, 1 walk. Detmers coming off 3 straight starts that are horrific, right? 5 2/3, 5 hits, 7 earned runs, 3 homers, 7 Ks, 4 walks. The Royals don't hit lefties, 230, 635 OPS. The Angels don't hit righties, 239, 688 OPS. The Royals bullpen has been pretty good. The Angels bullpen has not. This is a tricky spot. Take it away. Did you find an angle?
Frank, good comment, Frank. I don't know if I will be manning up here. We'll see. Yeah, Jimmy, where did you have this line opening up at? Because that's what threw me off this to begin with. Because I initially saw this at minus 112 Angels. But then again, I was like, is this wrong? So I wanted to talk this out and see where people had this opening up. So that minus 112 Angels opener was on Bovada, or Bet Online. Bovada had minus 116 Angels.
Wow. I told you the one here. It was like there's been a 3-cent move towards so it was a much lower line at Penny. Penny opened this up. Sorry about that. Penny opened this up with the Angels at plus 102.
Yeah, see, I thought initially I got excited because this was like minus 112 Angels and it flipped. I was like, okay, great. I'll bet the Royals here, but I'll stay off here. Sorry, Frank. I hope you enjoy your 5 dimes you get back from this game. But Michael Wacha coming off a bad start, something I typically would like to back here. Reed is shitting down his pants actively, but I like Reed Detmers a lot. I think he's a good pitcher, and I just can't fade him in with confidence. Now, good God, is the Angels' offense bad without Mike Trout? But let me see here. The Kansas City Royals against lefties last 2 weeks are second to last, actually third to last. 50 weighted runs created plus and 137 plate appearances. Honestly, maybe I could bet an under. They're 4th worst in the season as well. Perhaps I could bet an under in this game, but I still don't want to move on it. Only 25% of the bets, 18% of the money on the under in this game, and some juice has moved that way, minuscule, but under nothing for me,
Just no one can tell that for me.
No, Justin already sent them. Don't worry, Justin. Don't worry. I sent it. It's sent.
Yeah, like Dutch is gonna care when he gets a message from Jose. Oh, I'll get right to it.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Gampy.
Oh no.
Peepaw.
Peepaw?
Peepaw Justin.
Fuck, man. I feel a little better. I'll tell you that much. Royals, Angels, I feel like, and I hate saying this, but this is a sneaky under. It just feels like a sneaky under. 2 pitchers that have been, with bloated numbers, who've been lit up, and the Royals have nothing for lefties. And if we talked 3 weeks ago, I would have told you that Reed Detmer is the ace of the Angels staff.
I still think he is, but he's just pitching shitty. I expect this to be an under game, but I'm not betting it.
Let's go to Wacha right here as well. Okay, I believe I'm moving towards the under in this one here. I just want to go over to Wacha Flocka quickly here, and I just want to see how bad it's been, because there was times last year where he was lights out, and he got touched up a bit in Detroit, but he was strong. I guess at the White Sox versus Toronto. I do not fear this Angels lineup, but they can't hit. Okay, I'm top set going first 5 under. The Angels bullpen is being a lot better of late and is better than their numbers indicate.
We are starting to see some 4s, first 5.
I'm not going to double up, and I do want the bullpens to be involved. I do want, if one pitcher bounces back in a big way and one pitcher gets touched in an early pull, I don't want I want this to become a sleepy game tonight. I would prefer the full game, but I do not want to double up. So okay,
What does
so
Peepaw think? Peepaw Justin, do you have any thoughts on this, Peepaw?
I'm not gonna vouch for that nickname. No, this is he
Graham McKelvey.
Graham. It's a woman. That's for a grandma. Graham. All right. All he has to do is get on X, and we'll stop all this.
Yeah, of course.
We need him on X. All right. Okay. Let's review. Says that's too. Yeah. Don't mess with him. Okay. Let's review all action here in MLB. First off, we have 2 spots here. One spreadsheet play of the day is in, and it is your Minnesota Twins. Shout out to our guy Ron Crawford. Then the taint play of the day is the under 9 in Diamondbacks Reds. Then
Justin, by the way, you'll be happy to know that Dutch just sent me his email, and he said there's nothing from him, nothing from you, Justin. So maybe you have the wrong email.
No, but if you've never emailed, remember how email works. If you've never emailed the person before, it goes into the junk folder, right? This is where I can play. Now I can talk.
I'm in my element finally.
All right. Your grandma's wearing your sister's panties play of the day, Cincinnati, Minnesota, plus 225. And let me tell you, Mikey, no, don't publish it for everybody.
Yeah, it's everyone. I told everyone yesterday, do not send Dutch Boy Fresh any weird pictures. Do not do it. I'm sticking up for my pal Dutch. Do not send him pictures of grandma's and sister's panties. Do not do it.
Yeah, Troy, I've got the same number of that as well, and text messages too. If I go to my folder, I have about 4,000. But let's go here. In MLB, I have doubled up, as Jose has, with Seattle, Minnesota unders. First 5 under 3.5, full game under 7. That full game is starting to come back, and it makes me a little uncomfortable. Mitch Morber says Seattle minus 1.5. Twins choke artists in day games. Don't lay the bank if you're betting the Twins, says Mitch Morber.
I thought that said choke artist play of the day for a second. I was saying, wow, another one. It's very specific.
Yeah, like choke artist play of the day.
A late inning collapse by the Twins.
Yeah. Giants Rockies, I am off, and Jose's on the Houston, New York Yankees under 8.5. I'm interested in the Astros. I'm surprised that you posted his email.
He said it yesterday. He said it for the world to see yesterday.
Just email me
again, guys. From me to you, do not send Dutch any emails. I'm putting my foot down. Do not do it.
The Tito play of the day is the Diamondbacks full game from my guy WT down in Costa Rica. It's a blue zone. Costa Rica, by the way. Blue zone.
Shout out to that. Yep.
Billy Friedrich Pig Milk play of the day is the White Sox first 5 money line. I have some interest in the under in that one. Some interest. The optional misery play of the day is, again, I don't know if I copied and pasted it. The ribeye play of the day. Oh, it is the Astros. Yeah. God,
I believe so. Yeah.
Nolan Arenado plus 155 is the ribeye play of the day. I'm interested in the under in that one. Very interested. And I'm interested in the under in Kansas City Royals Angels to close up the night. Do you want to review your action before we get into NBA with Billy Brisbane? Brizzy with us right now. By the way, Billy Brisbane at this point, he had the 10-game winning streak, and he is 16-3 in his last 19 bets with us. 16-3.
Sheesh.
Jose, review your action.
Yes. Again, guys, No one email Dutch Boy Fresh, please and thank you. No one do that. Razor, I'm sure, can join me in that sentiment. I won't be sending any emails to Dutch. Billy, I'm sure, agrees with me as well. Seattle Mariners, Minnesota Twins under 6.5 minus 105. First 5 under in that game, 3.5 minus 125. So shout out to Jimmy for the better lines. Houston Astros. Oh, actually, I should mention that I also bet Seattle, Minnesota under 7 as well, minus 120. So 3 bets, all unders in that game. I hope that game is 1-0. Under 8.5 minus 110. New York Yankees Astros game. The under 8 in the Cleveland White Sox game, and the under 7.5 in the Cardinals Brewers game. Where's Noli knows now?
Oh no. And Justin McKelvey says, what do I do to get paid for the horse race? Good news, Justin. Email.
The email, yeah, Dutch.
Email Dutch. Yeah.
I won't send his email again because apparently I'm doxing him to the entire world. However, again, if you guys, you know what, I'm not going to say it again. I'm sure everyone heard me say it, but just don't send him any pictures of any grandmas, guys.
Email pubsportsradio@gmail.com. You'll get it, my man, and get it.
Oh, this is a Dutch giveaway. This is a sesh giveaway, so he can't email Pub Sports Radio.
No, that's 2 for me too. I didn't even think that one counted. No, that one counted, Justin.
It counts. Justin. Grampy Justin's a little spry today.
Oh no, that's 3. That's 3. Oh, let's get him, Justin. Let's get him, man.
Get his ass.
Let's fucking get him, man.
Oh man.
Let's bring a family of raccoons over to his house now. Did you clean that all up? Are they gone?
They still live in the parking lot. They still own the parking lot, but they don't own my balcony anymore. I can't confirm that.
All right, let's get into NBA here. And yes, Rem, my best bet of the day is the first 5 under 3.5 in Seattle, Minnesota. Graham. I can't believe you call it Graham. Man. I know things have changed. There are Grahams that can be men. Life has changed. But back when I was younger, Grahams were grandmothers. And but times have changed. Now you never know what you're going to get. You never know. That's why you just got to get married and shut down. Because there are horrors out there. Not whores, but horrors. Maybe they're the same thing. Let's get into NBA here and bring on your next guest on a 16-3 run here on our show. You know, it's wild tracking all of our cappers, and our guy Brizzy got off to a rough start to the season, but he has not only climbed out of that hole, he has put up a house, a beautiful house where that hole once stood. Please welcome from South Jersey, our guy Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. Out here for vengeance tonight. Last night was like a little appetizer. You only give me one game on a fucking Wednesday night. Come on, NBA, do better.
Well, we have some fun here because we are capping tonight's card, Thursday, May 9th, and we are capping Friday's card, Friday, May 10th. Brismac Biyombo is a new handle for you as well. I like it. Good work, Joey Yurkovich. All right, talk to us. I got to set up NBA here, so talk to us a little bit about your thought. Oh, that it already started. You can still get in on it though. That Seattle Minnesota game, it just started. We have one out in the top of the first. I was surprised that everybody was on the Pacers in game 2. Now, I don't know how you could not be on the Pacers in game 3. I've already bet them first half and full game. OG is not coming back anytime soon.
Not facts.
No.
That's the biggest thing to take away from the last night's game. OG's not coming back anytime soon.
You know what OG doesn't do? Come back quickly from injuries. So his leg's going to be up. He's going to be getting massaged, and Anunoby not there to help. But we'll get into all of that. Talk to us about your feelings for game 2 Pacers Knicks while I set everything up.
I mean, game 3, Friday night, it's really hard for me to not side with the Pacers, but I would say the pace of play has been the biggest thing I've really seen in those New York Knicks Pacers series and the Dallas Mavericks OKC theories. The thought process of these really fast regular season teams kind of getting through that first round of the playoffs and then going back to their regular season ways in the round 2 of the playoffs has really been a good adjustment. But it kind of plays into New York's play style. Shouts to Precious Achua last night. We had some Precious Achua PRA. He was the OG Anunoby injury. It was crucial because that's when he got subbed back into the game, and he's going to have to play a big role for this team. How that works out for the Knicks, they're up 2-0, so it shouldn't matter too much. But shouts to the Knicks and the Celtics. They look like they're on a crash collision course of playing each other in the next round. And both teams
no,
really
not
dig into
anymore. Not anymore. Not with OG. Not with OG.
They'll
Look,
get out of the series, though.
I
He's
don't
going to win
know.
2 games. They got to win 2 of the next 4 games. If Jalen Brunson gets a foul called every time he dribbles the ball within 20 feet of the paint, how do you not win the games?
we're going to discuss that. And but big trouble in Little China for the New York Knickerbockers. But we start Thursday, May 9th this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern for the East Semifinals Game 2. Cleveland Cavaliers at Boston Celtics. Yeah, we have to talk about this game too. Let's get into the line history here. We'll start with the spread. From a spread perspective over at Pinnacle, we're sitting with a 13.5. The Celtics opened up minus 13. They're now minus 13.5. It is slightly juiced to the Cavaliers. On the total side of things, we are dealing with a 212.5, and it is opened up at 213, went down to 212. Now it's up to 212.5. We've seen that U-shaped movement in many, many games throughout these playoffs. From a cash flow perspective, you have 33% of the tickets and 31% of the cash on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And on the total, we have 93% tickets, 93% cash on the over, which does appeal to the under. But Justin McKelvey on the over 212. And Joe Yurkovich says, don't sleep on Alec Burks. Like Thibs. Thibs been sleeping on Alec Burks, and he coaches him. Now, I know that Alec Burks can step up, but there's a reason why he's been playing 3 minutes a game, I think. 1-0 Diamondback says, Dust 10. And let's roll here. Lee Davis's Pacer series got smacked from plus 550 to plus 350 just last night alone, and now he sees plus 280. So we are in TD Garden. Now, I dropped my breakdown yesterday, and I'm not going to rehash much of it. We know that Dutch on our show yesterday moved on the Celtics first half, -8, and the full game -13. I've yet to move on it. When we talk about shooting for the Cavaliers, how poor they've been shooting from 3, it's the same thing they've been doing all playoffs. All playoffs, 28.3%. So the fact that in game 1 they shot 26.2% from 3 is not that big of a surprise. You want to talk about someone who's been shooting great from 3, you talk about White. We have Rick J all over White props. 28 3-pointers over a 6-game span. That's the most in Celtics playoff history. And they've won 21 straight games when he's attempted at least 12 3-pointers. 21 straight games. I might have misread that when I was doing off the top of my head for you, Rick J. So the Celtics went 18 of 46 from 3. The Cavs went 11 from 42. You're asking Donovan Mitchell to be Michael Jordan, and he's doing his best. 4th player in league history to score 30 or more in 6 straight playoff series openers. MJ did that 3 times. Kobe once, and Wilt the Stilt did it once. Darius Garland's got to be better. He's got to do more, because it just feels like it's just Mitchell out there. Jared Allen missed his 4th straight game with a bruised rib injury. I don't expect him to be coming back soon. And KP has missed 2 straight games now with strained right calf, and he is not going to be coming back till next round. Take it away for us here, Brizzy. East semifinals, Cavs, Celtics.
Yeah, my first thought was when thinking about the spot. I mean, the Cavs were just in a really bad spot. Game 1, 48, not even 48 hours after game 7, traveling into Boston, 5th different arena in a row for them. And it didn't matter in the first quarter. We'll get to that in a little bit, but spot specific. Since the bubble, Celtics 18-22 ATS after winning and covering in the playoffs, and it's 4-5 ATS after winning by 20 or more, and 1-4 at home. So it tells me that the Cavs should be live, but it's another road game for the Cavs, and we're going back to the fucking well. Cleveland Cavaliers team total under 99.5 minus 120. These boys haven't scored a fucking 100. In the last 2 seasons, they've only gone over 100 points 3 times in 13 games. Bickerstaff's been terrible on the road, 2-11 ATS as a playoff underdog, 1-12 straight up, 1-9 ATS, 0-10 straight up on the road. They had the worst net rating in by far of any team in the playoffs on the road. Mitchell showed up and showed out in game 1, carrying the momentum from the last series. However, the rest of the teammates failed to do shit in support. No Jared Allen in the lineup. Over the weekend, they said he couldn't even lift his arm above his fucking head, so that doesn't sound any good. Garland only had 14 points. Struce finished with 5 points over 34 minutes. The 74 points combined in the first quarter, though, was the most in a Celtics playoff game since 1990 and the 3rd most in franchise history. And the Cavs team total still went under. I got to go back to the well there with the team total under. I think the Celtics could easily cover the spread. It's just I'm more convinced that Cleveland doesn't crack 100 in a win or a loss, but I think they get blown out.
I think this game goes under, and I'm waiting. I'm going to wait. The 74 points scored in the first quarter won't happen again for the rest of the series. I truly believe that.
Deadass. 3rd most in franchise history, most in a playoff game, opening period of a playoff game since 1990 for the Celtics.
It won't happen. Now, we're dealing with a ton of efficiency with the Celtics, and we're going to talk about just how efficient the Knicks have been because it's outrageous. But I just and you know, it was funny yesterday, and it was a great point by DC. DC was like, I think the Celtics put up 120, and I'm like, there's no. I was pretty dry. I was like, there's no way they put up 120 in game 2. There's just no way. And he's like, well, they put up 120 in game 1. You know, and you know, it's an important point that they did that. But you know, for me being so like, no way they'll do it. But I see this going down. Lil Domo says Cavs scoring 30 in the first quarter ain't happening again either. Remember Lil Domo, they scored 34. My whole thought process with the Cavs first quarter was they were going to be locked in offensively and defensively. They scored 34 points in the first quarter, and I didn't cover my first quarter plus 4.5. I mean, good God. So I want the under in this one. I do think it goes up still. We know that the initial move was towards the under, and now it's coming back up. I want to see how high it goes, so I will be waiting. Billy Friedrich says, would you ladder the Cavs team total down to what? He was thinking 95.5. Before you answer that, I just want to see exactly where it's at right now. The team total over at Pinnacle is exactly that, 99.5, over 99.5 at minus 105 right now at Pinnacle. Would you ladder it down, or you just want them not to get to 100? Troy says 96.5.
Honestly, if you want plus money, I mean, that 95.5. My thought process was in the team total under. I was on Mikey's show Tuesday, and that was one of the plays I gave out. And holy fucking shit, by the end of the first quarter, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? What did I cap for this series? And then everything reverted back to normal. And that there ain't nothing worse than fucking game 1. I thought that shit was not going to cash. And then because they're getting blown out so much, nobody really shot the ball in the last 2 minutes of the game. They just dribbled the ball out. I came pretty fucking close in game 1, but I also don't think the Cavs score as much in the first half. What the Cavs have to do is play some of their bench unit more minutes. Like, they need Karis LeVert to bring up the basketball with Mitchell on the wing and Garland on the wing, or whoever you want to put out there on the wing, Struce, because the Mitchell bringing up the ball, making one pass, and they're passing it right back to him, ain't really doing anything for the offense. It's really Mitchell scoring in isolation basketball and pick and roll. So they need Karis LeVert and Sam Merrill to come off the bench and give them minutes, but I don't think that happens until game 3 or 4. But looking deeper into the series, Sam Merrill's definitely a guy to circle. They're going to need his shooting off the bench if Max Strus is only going to put up 5 points in 34 minutes. We saw him in the regular season. He was really big in a couple of spots when they had some injuries. Karis LeVert was really big. He's been in these playoff spots before, and he can ball handle, something that Darius Garland is just failing to do. He looked like dog shit in Game 7 and dog shit in Game 1, and he looked hurt.
Oh no, don't like hearing that from John Child. Sam Merrill, by the way, oh god, yeah, Twins got 2 runners on with 1 out. Sam Merrill had an open 3-point shot. He faked it and drove to the lane, and I was like, what could you and he got the ball slapped away like he was a child. And I couldn't fathom. And speaking of Sam Merrill, and he's a Sam who's been doing nothing, but Hauser was such a great call for you in the player prop market last show that you were with us 8 days ago on Wednesday, May 1st. Let's roll on to game 2. But in game 1, to review, Brizzy's on Cavs, team total under 99.5, -105, available right now at Pinnacle. Dutch is on Celtics, first half -8, full game -13. Razor sharp picks on Derek White over 17.5 points at +106. And I want the under. Let's roll into game 2. Please be a sack fly. Okay, I'll take it. Sack fly. All right, that's fine. Oh, it wasn't a sack fly, was it? Was that a sack fly? Can someone let me know? All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board for us here. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West semifinals, game 2. OKC leading the series 1-0. Maybe this is just being a public boob, but I took Oklahoma City -5. I imagine this is going to be... Oh, what's the base hit? Damn it. I imagine it's going to be the most public spot ever. And, why don't we just see that right now? I honestly thought that at this point, they would send Luka home and make sure he was good for game 3. 67% of the tickets, 58% of the cash on the Thunder. Wow. I am surprised it's not... Wow, I'm very, very surprised that this isn't the most public spot imaginable. From a total side of things, we have 92% tickets, 91% cash on the over. I think that what we know about this squad with the Mavs is you got to get Luka running. You got to run as much as possible. It's a similar thing that the Pacers are trying to do to the Knicks here, that the Knicks are just going to break down if you keep running and running and running at them. Right now, this spread is at 5. It's -107 towards OKC. There's only been 2 cents of movement. If this is a regular season, I would not have bet this. So I broke this down yesterday with Dutch. We're both on the Thunder -5. Shaded very little last night, 2 nights ago, and still went 29-9-9. He had some turnovers. He didn't play great basketball. He's just that kind of a player. JP Taylor says Thunder -5, best bet today. And BJ says, like I said in game 1, it's OKC all day. The Mavs are a fade as road underdogs, and Luka ain't it right now. Dallas shooting 33.6% from 3, and it's because of Luka. Luka, 5 turnovers, 6 of 19 from the field. I mean, he's just not delivering. He hasn't been delivering all playoffs long. And then OKC 40.1% from 3 in the playoffs and 45.7 in game 1. And Troy Torrance says, are the Thunder going to get bullshit touchy whistle? Officiating was way of the line, and we've seen it in the playoffs. Razor said Dallas got blown out game 1 against the Clippers too. Says relax. Take it away for us, Brizzy. It's a very public spot that I'm on, but I'm on it. What's your plan here for Mavericks Thunder?
Yeah, I would say one of the most frustrating things as a capper is when you cap the game correctly, but you don't get paid out for your bet. And I had the over in game 1, and that the only reason why I bet the over is because I thought the Thunder was going to revert back to their regular season pace of play rather than the Pelican series. The Pelican series, they ran a slower offense because they're just getting such efficient, wide open shots. And I felt like Dallas's defensive numbers over the last month of the season, those numbers were due to regress. And we saw in game 1. I mean, I just feel like where Dallas is messing up is they're kind of like a chameleon type of team. If you want to run a slow pace, they can run a half court offense. But if you want to run a gun, Luke is going to be dumb enough to run a gun with you. And they can't run a gun with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I think we're going to see some rotational switches in their lineup here. And that's why I went to the player prop market here. I bet Aaron Wiggins over 10.5 points, rebounds, and assists at -130, and is over a half a three-pointer at -160. The biggest thing I saw in the eye test for me in game 1 was how bad Josh Giddey played and how much the books have adjusted his PRA line and how good that he played. In game 1 of the series, he played the 5th most minutes on the team. He had 23 points, rebounds, and assists, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, second best plus minus on the team. And it's hard to ignore putting him back in kind of the starting lineup over Josh Giddey. His 3-point line is at 135 at DraftKings. When he's hit 1+ 3-pointer, he's been over his line 32 out of his last 44 games, regardless of the minutes. He's played 16+ minutes in each of the playoffs games so far. When playing 14+ minutes, he's over 34 out of his last 47 games, 17+ minutes over in 27 out of his last 30 games, played 22 minutes in game 1. He's hit a 3-pointer versus Dallas in all 3 matchups this year, averaging 6.8 rebound chances and 2.3 potential assists. So I think Aaron Wiggins is going to sub into this game, and he's going to probably end up closing over Josh Giddey. So that's my hot take. Aaron Wiggins over Josh Giddey.
Over a half 3-pointer with -160. What was did you go points and rebounds?
Points, rebounds, and assists.
Points.
That was -30.
And PRA was what? Over what?
The PRA was -130, and the 3-pointer prop was over a half at -160. He's probably
what was the number for PRA?
10.5.
10.5 PRA. I'm gonna live bet this under now and see if I can get some of it back.
What's the operation? Dennis Garcia operation betting the starters players under. I bet Josh Giddey's fucking under PRA. I don't think
cashing nonstop.
Yeah, I would double up on the Josh Giddey one in this one. I'm kind of with Troy in the chat. Giddey definitely goes under. Like the way they adjusted his PRA line, like the books even know he's probably not going to play a lot of minutes. I think that means Aaron Wiggins and Casey Wallace and Isaiah Joe are going to get more minutes, and mostly Aaron Wiggins. And he was a big X factor in game 1. Game was kind of close for a little bit, and then the second unit of the Thunder really came in there and got the job done. And I think that the Thunder are just deeper team than the Mavericks. The Mavericks are going to have to play a different style of basketball, and it might take them until game 3 or 4 to really adjust to it. Until then, I think OKC's just going to run them off the floor.
But you're not moving on OKC alone, just Wiggins props.
Yeah, I like the Wiggins props, but I feel like the Wiggins prop really correlates with the game just in general. Like, I think that it cashes in a close game or a blowout, and I also think Josh Giddey gets benched for him, and he looked a lot better. He had the second best plus minus on the team. I mean, that's pretty hard to ignore. And Josh Giddey looked terrible in game 1.
All right, it is time to move on to Friday, May 10th action here on Pub Sports Radio. We have Billy Brisbane joining us, 16-3 with his last 19 bets here on our show. Let's roll. East semifinals game 3. Knicks up 2-0 in the series. We're at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Knicks 23-18 in the regular season on the road, and the Pacers 26-15 at home. I've already bet this as soon as I could. I have 4.5 and 6.5 on the Pacers first half and full game. I probably should have looked at the series here, and it was a mistake that I didn't, but I got -110 on the first half, 4.5, very expensive. 4.5 was the first half, and 6.5 was the full game. Let's take a look at what the line history is now. They just played last night, so let me move over here to Friday action. It's now at 7.5, and it's juiced to the Pacers. This opened up at 6. I did miss that. It opened up at 6 at 11:43 p.m., and it moved to 6.5 at 11:45 p.m. It was a pretty hard one to catch. I missed that. Did get to 6.5. And then first half, which was expensive at 4.5. Let's just see what they have here for the 4.5 has moved to 5.5. I like that. 5.5 at -107. Now it opened up 4.5. I did catch that one. It didn't move to 5 for Oh wow, it wasn't even available. Sorry, I bet it both at Bet365. It wasn't available at Pinnacle till 8:10 this morning. And then when we get to the cash flow here, we have 95% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the over. I know people have been catching these overs nonstop. We have 63% of the tickets and 67% of the cash on the Knicks. There are 8s out there. And BJ moved on it as soon as it opened as well. It was a mistake not taking the series. I should have done that. Whatever. I got mine, but should have got more. Right now with these Knicks, shooting 39.2% from 3 in the series, but 47.2% from 39.2% in the playoffs, 47.2% from 3 in the series. The Pacers shot 35.9% from 3 in the playoffs. They're shooting 41.7 from 3 in the series. The teams are just efficient and shooting unbelievably well. We'll go into more of that. The Knicks are shooting 55.4% from the field through 2 games, while the Pacers are shooting 51.9%. So, look, everything that Brunson's doing is absolutely spectacular. Unbelievable. He doesn't get the 5th straight game of 40+, but he left, missed the second quarter with that foot injury, still puts up 29, comes back and delivers. The Knicks have so much heart and so much character, but how many pieces can you take off the puzzle for it still to be a legitimate team? I mean, you've just taken too many pieces off, and now I don't know how they continue to deliver, especially defensively. And then if you take OG and Anunoby off of the 4 and put up Precious Achiuwa on the 4, and you have Hartenstein on the 5 and Achiuwa at the 4, yeah, you can bang. But we know Achua's limits offensively are his ceiling for what he can do offensively. I mean, you don't want the ball in his hand unless he's going up to the rack. That's the only time.
Even Hardenstein are going to the same exact spot on the floor, and they're like running into each other. Like, hey, what's up, buddy?
He's got heart and soul. This Knicks team has heart and soul. So the Knicks have been trailing in 6 of their 8 playoff games by double digits. They've won 5 of them. 7 of their 8 games have been within 5 points in the last 5 minutes. So we have no Julius Randle, no Bojan Bogdanovic, no Mitchell Robinson, and now no OG Anunoby, and Brunson's banged up. Brunson scored 24 points in 24 second-half minutes. TJ McConnell was the only one who could slow him down, but he wasn't on the floor. Why? You got to ask Carlisle that question. He wasn't on the floor when the game was on the line. So Brunson, who's been delivering offensively, its offense is not going to be the issue. And it wasn't the issue when he got hurt. So he missed 15 and a half minutes, Brunson did, and the Knicks were outscored by 14. The Pacers finished the half there with 73 points on 49 possessions, 149 per 100. I mean, those numbers are unbelievable. So then no Anunoby, now Precious Achiuwa, who was the backup center, is now going to be playing power forward along with Hartenstein. The Knicks, so when Anunoby and Randle were hurt, the Knicks were outscored by 2.7 points per 100 possessions in 346 regular season minutes. And that was with Achiuwa and Hartenstein on the floor together, outscored by 2.7 points per 100 possessions. So then Achiuwa was replaced by Miles McBride. That's when they started playing better. So Anunoby's not going to be available game 3. I don't think Anunoby's going to be available for the rest of the series. The efficiency by this group here has been unbelievable. The Knicks scored 130 points on 92 possessions, 141 per 100. That's on Wednesday. That was the most efficient performance for any team in the last 2 postseasons. The Pacers and Knicks are now 1st and 3rd in offensive efficiency in these playoffs. Both have scored more than 120 points per 100 possessions. Halliburton stepped up. He had an ugly game 1. He stepped up. He went for 34 points, 7-11 from 3. But this starting lineup has been outscored by 32 points in 42 minutes in this series. The starting lineup has allowed the Knicks to score 116 points on 79 possessions. All that is over for me with Anunoby off the floor. So And look who was stepping up for the Knicks when Brunson was off the floor. It was Anunoby. So McConnell's going to play more. Ben Shepherd, Nobi Toppin have stepped up.
Yeah, shouts to Ben Shepherd stepping in for Benedict Mathurin. Can you imagine this Pacers team if they had Benedict Mathurin? He was a hooper throughout the regular season.
Absolutely. So I want the under too. I want the under as well. I'm going to wait to see how high this gets bet up, but I don't also want to mess up how nice the 4.5 first half and 6.5 full game is, because this will just keep going up. And I don't want to convolute this action here by taking the under, but I'm interested in it. Let's hear your take, Brizzy. Take it away, Knicks, Pacers.
I think you summed up everything pretty perfectly, to be honest with you. I thought that was a pretty accurate breakdown of how this series is really going. I like some of the stats that you had. It's hard pressed for me to really take the Knicks here in this spot. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but, the team's down 0-2 in that game 3. They usually have a first half full game. I definitely think it makes sense playing the first half with the Pacers, because the second unit of the Pacers is really the reason why they're winning in this series. Not winning in this series, but going up by so much in the second quarter is because that second unit is very crucial for the Pacers. And I think that's where the player prop action is going to come into play here. Sitting on the live stream last night, fucking Dave's sitting there saying, I bet fucking Obi Toppin before the show starts. C-Mac was on Indiana Pacers team total over, and the Odie Toppin podcast halfway through the first quarter. I was like, damn, man, that shit was at 9.5 at plus 105. And he ended up cashing out like midway through the first quarter. They didn't adjust his prop, but I kind of like the TJ McConnell points and assists. It's 2 up from the last game, but I just don't think that it's high enough. He's going to have to play more minutes for the Pacers. And when he's played around 20 to 26 minutes, he's gone over 20 out of his last 28 games. Including 3 out of 3 in the playoffs. And if this is a blowout, I think he does play in the blowout as well. The Knicks are just banged up right now. They just don't have enough depth. And I feel like that's where that's why the line's a little bit juiced, because I feel like that second unit is really going to come into play. The likes of Odie Top and TJ McConnell, and shouts to Ben Shepherd, man. Stretching out the floor. If you hit a fucking open shot and you drive the lane, hey, they got to put you on the floor, right? It's no Benedict Mathurin, but he looks second best right now. It's not like they're going to extend his minutes too much, but I like the way the Pacers have been looking. To be honest with you, they should have pulled out one of these 2 games, but they didn't. Now the whistle isn't going to be just foul called every 20 seconds every time the Knicks dribble the ball in the paint. A little bit of home cooking. I think the Gamebridge Fieldhouse gets lit up on a Friday night, and the Pacers win this one.
What do you want to make official here for our program?
If
it's 16 or 19.
An assist at minus 115.
Sorry, I missed that. I was interrupting you. What did you say?
TJ McConnell points and assists at minus 115.
Points and assists. And what is the number?
Minus 115 at FanDuel.
I got that, but how many points and assists?
16.5.
TJ McConnell for our guy Brizzy. TJ McConnell over 16.5 points and assists at minus 115. And I got in on the 4.5 and the 6.5. And I probably should have taken the series. It's too late for that. We've already heard from Lee Davis from plus 530 down to plus 290. So I'm going to have to let that go. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, West Semifinals, Game 3. Minnesota leading the series 2-0. The Nuggets weren't that good of a road team this year, 24-17. And Minnesota Timberwolves were a juggernaut at home, 30-11. What we saw in Game 2 was mind-boggling.
Yeah, facts. I was on the Nuggets with you too.
Oh, it hurt. It hurt. And I stopped at halftime. I didn't even. Usually, I'd be like, "Hey, maybe there's a guy."
That was one of those ones where you turn off and you don't even check for the update. You already know what it is.
Yeah, it was horrific. And I know we talk about how you need to pivot off of your plan in the series, and my plan wasn't to back the Nuggets in this series. We had so many sharp cappers in the chat who were all over the Timberwolves. Troy Torrance being, all over the Timberwolves. We had a whole bunch of you guys who were. Denver in the playoffs shooting 32.2% from three. They're just not playing well. 44.8% from the field. Minnesota in this series shooting 51.2 from the field and 40% from three. They've been shooting well all playoffs long. Playoffs 48.8 from the field, 37.6 from three. We're talking about a Minnesota Timberwolf team that has won 6 straight games. They just have been dominating. And Rudy Gobert has his child. He's not on the floor, and the defense shuts him down. Jaden McDaniels looks like the missing piece from last year when he was hurt. I guess he punched the wall last year. I've already moved on the Denver Nuggets +5. And my question is, do I go first quarter and first half as well? I think that it will be difficult for the Timberwolves, who are feeling so good about themselves, to just continue to dominate and to put Rudy right back in the situation. I find it tricky. I thought Rudy was going to play game 2. When I heard he was out, officially not going to be there, I probably should have bought out from some degree, because we just see these teams step up.
Yeah, that was the fake out there. I got hit with the bookie fake out. Get the CLV, but CLV doesn't matter in NBA.
So the Nuggets were held to 35 points in the first half, 50 in the second. They scored 80 in the game. The Nuggets lost one time at home in the 2023 playoffs. They just lost 2 straight. They've been dominated. They've been humiliated. So what happens now? Do they show a championship pedigree or not? And my bet is that they will show their championship pedigree. And look, sometimes you've got to make bets the way you're like, well, if this doesn't go my way, I'm okay with it. So Jokic is averaging 5.5 turnovers per game. Jamal Murray looks horrific, and he's emoting out on the floor like a clown. Karl Anthony Towns has dominated, 20 points in the first half, 8 of 11 shooting. Towns or Edwards, this 1-2 punch, it should be Edwards and Towns, really is just unbelievably good. So, and I hear BJ. BJ says, yeah, True Teller, I get it. I'm following the score. You don't need to serve it to me on a silver platter. I get it. Thank you for your update. BJ says, Deadass was sitting at my computer last night and said, I want to take Denver Friday with the whole world doubting them, but I don't know now. That Denver bench is ass. And Joe Yervin says, can't fade Minnesota right now. I get it. So, and DC Capper says Minnesota rolls at home. Maybe they do. Maybe they do. So I got the 5, and I am planning on moving on first quarter and first half. Right now, this first half, it's a very telling number. The full game is 4.5. The first half is 1.5. Just like the Pacers' first half number being so much bigger than the full game, the Nuggets number being so much smaller than it is full game is telling to me. It tells me that the Wolves have to be ready for a punch from the Denver Nuggets, who have, as I said, been embarrassed, being humiliated. We'll move over to the total here for this one. From a total side of things here, get over to Friday action. We are dealing with a 204.5. It opened up at 204. It's now 204.5. It just moved to 204.5 a couple hours ago. A half point move to the over. The Timberwolves have 84% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the spread, 84 and 90, and on the total, 87% of tickets and 88% cash on the over. When we get to this full game spread, I got that 5 as soon as it came out. It's now 4.5, and it's juiced to Denver at 4.5. I can understand why nobody wants to back the Nuggets here. And trust yourself, and trust your cap, and trust your instinct. But after saying this all, now I'm going to listen to Brizzy closely. I want to add the first quarter in the first half. I want to triple up here. I want to expect the championship pedigree to step up. I want to expect Minnesota's life to not be as easy as it's been. And now you put Rudy back in. Let's hear what Brizzy has to say. Take it away, Brizzy. Game 3, semifinals, Nuggets, Timberwolves.
If you're looking for a guy to talk you into not betting the Nuggets for game 3, definitely not the candidate here. This is not the way you're supposed to cap games, but this is just I feel like when you gamble day in, day out, you just end up being pot committed sometimes. And I'm just kind of pot committed on this Nuggets team. I kind of got lucky game 1. I didn't watch that game live. It was during a pay-per-view event. So I just watched that game like 3 hours after it happened. So it wasn't like an emotional feel for me. Hopped up on Denver game 2, and man, they got blown the fuck out. But I think I'm at a point where like I'm pot committed, and I have to bet the Denver Nuggets. Like the way game 2 went. Like as a gambler, you learn, you go back to what you initially thought, and if your hand gets burnt on the stove twice back to back, then fuck it, let it be so. But if you go and bet the other fucking side, that's when you're going to fucking lose. And you're going to be sitting at yourself like, damn, the cap I had the first time was correct. This is one where I would have to look stupid. What's the Wolf of Wall Street quote? Judge me on my winners, not the losers. But this is definitely one of those ones where I might chalk it up as a losing ticket, but I'll live with the results. The smarter bet's probably the team total over 100 for the Denver Nuggets. Them basically score 100 points. So in a win or a loss, in a win, I think they will score over 100 points. In a loss, they still have the opportunity to score over 100 points. So that's probably the smart way to take it, but probably on the Denver Nuggets money line. Not going to make it official, but I'm pot committed at this point. So do what you want with the information of that.
I am going to add here. I'm going to add first quarter and first half, and just live with the consequences. And maybe it should be a pivot spot. For me, pivoting would be just staying off of game 3. It wouldn't be moving on to Minnesota when the whole world's on them. Ron Lofton says, I'm going to hope to get Nuggets at a better line live. BJ joining us on Denver. And AOD saying you guys will be under a bridge for milk money. Yeah.
The UFC will be the next day. This is one of those ones, man. Like, as a gambler, man, you lose on the spot the first time. I mean, you got to go back to it, man. I mean, the last time it was minus money. Now we're getting plus money. I look like a fucking fool if I didn't bet the Nuggets here and they won game 3. I would be fucking pissed. So I'd rather lose money knowing that the cap was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and with the 5, I mean, Ant can hit a game-winning shot and show that he's the new MJ, and we can still cash it. So I'm going to add the first quarter in the first half. I
think the team total. Yeah. I think the team total hits. If they win the game, that should hit over 100.5. And if they lose, it could possibly still hit.
I also, though, think that you're going to see the best defensive intensity, the most defensive intensity we've seen from the Nuggets, ever in this one. So, look, I can understand a lot of people on the other side, and it's all good. And Bo Jackson says, folks gave me so much heat for taking the Wolves in the series. Now who's chasing? It certainly wasn't on this show because everybody was on the Timberwolves. It was shocking to me that everybody down and I didn't bet game 1 at all because I was like, wow, I got to see this. And you guys were right. And then I did bet game 2, which blew up in my face.
I'm right there with you though, Jim. That's game 1. I didn't bet game 1. It was during a pay-per-view. I'm not about to bet a basketball game over a pay-per-view. And I went into it, watched the game. They got blown out. I was like, all right, we're getting on Denver game 2. And they got fucking smoked. Like, from my eye test, this would not be one where the eye test backs up the betting theory. But you got to go with the betting theory when in doubt, right? Got to go back to the wall. And we're getting plus money. I will be fucking damned if Denver won game 3 and lost the series fucking 4-1 and we didn't make money on game 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sitting here betting the Nuggets on the series, even though I just out of curiosity would like to see what it is here. Move over here. And out of curiosity right now, if you wanted now Bet365 always screws you on the future bet series bets, but Nuggets are plus 450. It's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. And I don't care. If they're you can win enough just backing a team down 2-0. The Pacers series, I don't know why I was not on that, but okay, there you go. That is our Friday, May 10th action. In Knicks Pacers, I'm on Pacers first half, full game 4.5 and 6.5. Brizzy's on TJ McConnell over 16.5 points and assists at minus 115. In game 2, I'm on the Nuggets plus 5, and I will be moving on first quarter and first half as well.
Hard lean on the Denver Nuggets team total over, but we're gonna have to leave it as like a lean. I don't want to say lean, but I mean shit. I gotta sleep with that one more time before I place that ticket.
Joe T sitting on a 66-1 ticket on his hometown Wolves preseason to win the chip. That's exciting.
I mean, it's right there for the taking, man, for sure. Because I don't think the Thunder match up well with the Thunder came out.
And for Thursday, May 9th action, we have Brizzy on the Cavs team total under 99.5. We have razor sharp picks on Derek White over 17.5 points at plus 106. Dutch on the Celtics first half and full game. I've not moved on that one yet, but I'm very interested in the under. I'm on the Thunder minus 5 full game in Mavericks Thunder. If Luka is announced out, which I think would probably already happen, if he's announced out, I would be interested in going for a middle.
Luka's not sitting. He'll take a fucking, what do they call it, the Toradell? He'll take a Toradell shot up the ass before he'll sit a fucking game out in the playoffs.
I hear you. I would force the issue and say, go home.
I mean, he looks like he's fucking hurt, but he's got to go out there and give it a shot.
I would say go home. Mally Mal in the house. What up, Mally Mal? So there you go. In the late game, Brizzy's on Wiggins over 10.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and over a half 3-pointer. And PJ saying that he is probable. There you go. That is our NBA breakdowns for today. Brizzy, 16-3 in your last 19 bets here on the show. Thank you for delivering in a huge, huge way. And it's important, very important to us. So thank you for your great work. Please support Brizzy on X at getting_bills_. Brizzy, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
Yeah, let's cash some tickets this weekend. It all starts on the Thursday night. That's how you get paid. The Friday slates are always fucking weird. So UFC St. Louis this weekend. Make sure you guys check out the Locker Room Podcast over on YouTube and on the podcast networks like Spotify and all that good shit. But I'm about to be out of here. Good weekend. Follow me over on Billy Brisbane DFS. Have some plays posted throughout the weekend as well.
I love it. There he is, Billy Brisbane, South Jersey in the house. Well, this Mariners Twins debacle to get things started. Shout out to our guys in the chat on the Twins. Sabino was heavy on them. A bunch of guys were on them, trying to push us on them. I wish I had joined you. It is an ugly start. Not only that, but I'm on the under 9.5 live at even money. It did get up to 12.5. It's now at 11.5 just to the over, but that is a horrific looking bet right now as well. But maybe this game can get very sleepy. It is a travel day, so we'll see how it all bangs out. I'm not going to double down on the live. It was just $100 live, but still. All right, that is our show for today. Thank you, guys. Let's get Jose Bouquett back in business here to review our action and move on into the future. I'm going to move on these other spots here. I've got a lot of action to make. Hurricanes, first period under 1.5, full game under. I'm going to fire at them. Coach Chekhov, look, my bankroll's in your hands. Then the Stars -1. I'm going to sit with it a little longer, but I think I get there. God, fading the Avalanche has just been a very treacherous decision to make. Then tomorrow, I'm already on the Panthers at -115. And I want to know what's going on at this optional skate in Van City. I want to know what's going on with McDavid and with Draisaitl. And I do not want the Oilers, but I may want McDavid in a
How many more comeback wins for Vancouver till you believe?
Oh, that made me believe. I admit that's a huge signal, especially with Draisaitl's. I mean, we're supposed to believe Knobloch. I mean, look, Vancouver is showing their depth, their toughness, their character. They're doing it with a third stringer who's better than their backup. But I mean, what? I believe they can beat Edmonton in a series. I don't know if they will, and I'm not sure if I would. I still really want to see this, how it plays out, but I believe they can beat Edmonton. I don't believe they can beat Colorado.
Okay.
And I don't believe they can, beat the Panthers or the Rangers or the Hurricanes. So
It's not there yet.
Oh, no, not close. Not close. But I love what they've done. Zadorov, what a pickup, And it works as show us that Nux tat. No tats here, man.
I'd like to see the Vancouver tat on the ass if they win a World or a Stanley Cup. I'd like to see that.
No, I can't make those types of bets. Some of you guys know I once had I forgot, maybe it was just $1,000, but it was $1,000 that the Canucks wouldn't win the Stanley Cup in the next 5 years, and the next year they lost in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and it weighed on me all year. That I would be betting against my team, and then when I talked to the guy about it, because the bet was made at like 5 a.m. after after a funeral, he had no recollection of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make a bet against your home team. It's just it's a lose-lose. Taint play today's in great shape. Arizona, Cincinnati under with Ciccone and Hunter Green, and Arizona getting. I knew Ciccone would bounce back. I'm just not. Then Jose and I are in terrible shape for Seattle, Minnesota. So just like yesterday, starting the day chasing, being a bad 48 hours for me. Giants, Rockies, I am off. Jose's on the under 8.5 in Houston, New York Yankees. I'm going to bet the Astros now. Then I am interested in this Cleveland White Sox under. I'm going to spend a little more time on it. Pig milk play today is White Sox first 5. Then the under in St. Louis, Milwaukee, I'm very interested. And the under in Kansas City, LA Angels. So we'll see how those bang out. What is the rest of your action?
The rest of my action, I had the under in the Astros game, like you mentioned, the under in the Guardians game, 8 minus 115, and the under in the Brewers game, 7.5 minus 105.
Let's get that cash. We have a huge card tomorrow. Just a monstrous card. So time to get to work right away, which I will do right now. Thank you guys for rolling with us, man. Truly. Frank Ritaco adding the first 5 Cardinals after doing a little bit more review on that. Justin McKelvey is the stake bet on the Astros.
On the over.
On the over. Yes, on the over.
Yeah, over and under. Yeah, Justin, you're fucked, dude. I can't wait.
Jason Work, Ronnie Lofton, Mally Mal, AOD, Justin McKelvey, Billy Friedrich. Billy Friedrich you guys were crushing today. Rem Most, DC Capper, Al Cervic, Robert Franklin, Dave Redling, Rick J. All of you guys. Chase J, Mally Mal, Al Cervic, Voodoo Ranger, Lee Davis. Thank you guys. Thank you for all you do. Earl Sports Bets, Joe T. Thank you guys. Joe Yurkovich, Steve G, Jose Lopez, AOD, Ray Charles. Good God, I gotta figure out how to get out of this. It's so wild how fast things change. February, I was about just to disappear, and then March, April, I go on this monster run. And now it's May, and good God, am I falling apart? So,
agreed.
Let's
there.
get that fixed. Jose, my man, can you bless our action and send us into the future?
Let's do it, Justin. There's no need to go low, Justin. Oh my God, he just shoot low now, Justin.
Oh, I like it. Jose's teeth are like a yellow picket fence.
So they call me. It's the Yellow Submarines in there. Appreciate everyone as always. Justin, shout out to you. Good luck tonight. Jason, Alfred, Mally, Old E, Billy Friedrich, great show by you. Truth Teller, thanks for telling the truth. Yeah, thanks for telling the truth. Frank, all you guys, we appreciated it. And then again, shout out to Graham, Justin McElvey. Appreciate you guys. Shout out. Good luck today. And leche, Hellos Bookmakers.